The cult of personality.
Hello, welcome to a Thursday edition of The Voice of Ocala. We're live at the Country Club of Ocala. It's a major championship week. We're here every time that happens. As the U.S. Open unfolds on television, it's finally resumed play after the weather delay this morning. We will be here at Country Club of Ocala and talking to you about events out here as well as what's happening at Marion. As we watch right now, Phil Mickelson teeing it up at 1 under, and Mickelson, of course, flying all night to get back from his daughter's graduation in California, walking out and get on the plane, off the plane at 5:30, and he's out there now. I'm sure the rain delay gave him a chance to have a little nap today. Buddy Martin along with Tom Schmitz. We're joined by Sean Down Goes Frazier, J.J. LaSalva, back in the studio. Coming up on the program today, we'll talk to the general manager, Pat Murray, here about how things are at Country Club of Ocala, with the course taking shape now and getting ready for summer play. Also, Brad Rogers, the editorial page editor of the Star Banner, guy who stays up with what's happening in the city of Ocala, County of Marion, one of our favorite guests, always current and has something to say. I'm sure he'll have lots to say today concerning what's been going on, especially about the situation in the teachers' firing and the educational system in Marion County. Mike Compton due to join us sometime around 5:30 if all goes well. We're expecting our friend Steve Albright, still reigning Marion County Golfer of the Year from 2012, to drop by today and visit with us, as well if we get him off the golf course where he's out growing grass. Our friend Mr. Reagan will be joining us here on the program, and Jason Reagan will join us, and we'll talk about what the great work he's done here on this golf course, Tom Schmitz, and they're all talking about what great shape it's going to be in out here.
The golf course looks like it's in great shape, buddy. And Jason did a good job when he was at Ocala Municipal, and now he's doing a great job while he's here at Country Club of Ocala. So the members of Country Club Ocala and the surrounding area, the people who get to play this course, should be grateful to have a guy who cares so much. He cares about a golf course like it's his own backyard, and that's what makes a good superintendent.
Well, I'll tell you a little story about him a little later on. I just interviewed Jason for an upcoming article in the Country Club Living magazine, and we sat down and talked. I talked with his wife, very charming wife also. He doesn't cut the grass at home. Just like, and I understand that. So it's like me going home and wanting to do radio. I don't want to do radio when I go home. I want to do something else. So bottom line is that he's done an excellent job, and he's got a good story to tell. He'll join us a little bit later on in the show. Meanwhile, just a couple of news items. Remember the building that collapsed in Philadelphia? Well, the inspector of that case situation in Philadelphia committed suicide today.
Wow.
So obviously, I'm assuming that has something to do with it, but we don't know yet. We'll get that story up and read it, check it out, and see. That's a tragic thing to have happened. There were demolition crew was taking the building down when it fell and killed some people, and obviously very upsetting to a lot of folks. And starting this particular man took it pretty hard. Obviously, took his own life. Here's an interesting stat I came up with today that came from the Wall Street Journal. More white Americans are dying than being born for the first time in modern history.
Wow.
And what we're seeing is the changing of the color of America. As we know, there are far more Hispanics than ever, African Americans, Caribbeans, et cetera, Europeans, et cetera. And it's getting to a point where there's no doubt within a reasonable length of time, whites will be a minority in this country.
Well, it's becoming a melting pot, just the way it's always been said, but instead of a melting pot of nationalities, now it's becoming a melting pot of ethnicity. And that's not a bad thing. It just is an evolving thing. America's evolving now, and there are some people that say we need to get a handle on illegal immigration, but there's 12 million illegal immigrants in this country. They're not going back to wherever they're from, so what we need to do is come up with a way that we can put them in this country, the ones that are here in the country legally, and then worry about closing, maybe stopping some of the illegals from coming in. But you hear these people say we ought to deport everybody. That's just not going to happen, and that's not the American way anyway.
It does seem like there'd be a compromise available because, as you say, this land was great on what was built on immigrants.
There's a reason Ellis Island is an important part of our history.
Of course, and all of our relatives at some point came here through, unless you're Native American,
which we neither one are.
Yeah, so consequently, it's like you talk about immigrants. Well, we're all, at some point, I mean, We didn't come across in the Mayflower either, by the way.
No, we did not.
So, in case people won't know that. But anyway, interesting. You hear about it a lot, but when you see that story, the headline, you realize it's actually happening in our time. Right. It's actually going to happen, and so that's an interesting stat, I thought. This I got a tweet from 911 today. Just in, the judge rules the jury in the George Zimmerman trial will be sequestered once they're seated. I figured that would happen. So we're going to see a tight rein on that situation. Also, an update on Marion County's population. I'll catch up with you on that a little bit after the break. And coming up in the hour, Laurie Martin Gregory joins us in the studio. She will catch us up on the latest in the health news. I don't know if she got that story I got about the Texas tick, Lone Star tick causing the problems with meat allergies or not. I sent it to her. I don't know what's on her agenda today, but she'll also give us her review again of the internships, which she saw last weekend, and will be your pop culture aspect of that. And then later in the hour, Pat Murray, general manager of Country Club Ocala, due to stop by and visit us.
And if you were wondering, they are playing golf at Marion up in the suburbs of Philadelphia.
Let off the show with that comment, by the way.
Phil Mickelson, 2 under, leading the golf.
Yeah, he was one of them when you opened up. He was, I said, he's 2 under. He's also going to be Father of the Year. No doubt about that.
Jet lag is a serious thing for Phil. Although, the rain delay this morning helped him. He went and got a 2.5-hour nap.
I think I said that too. But anyway, the point being that his priorities, which kept him in California overnight for his daughter's 8th grade graduation, not even her high school graduation, just like when he played at Pinehurst and had a chance to win the U.S. Open and Amy was pregnant, he said, if my wife goes into labor, I'm out of here. I don't care if I'm leading the U.S. Open. And it turns out, if you remember what happened, is that he lost on the last hole. Payne Stewart knocked him in the butt and then grabbed him by the face and said, "You're going to be a father." Remember that? Yeah. So Mickelson is very popular with the ladies because of that. So my guess is he'll be much saluted for what he did, particularly as a family guy, and I salute him as well. So sure thing he did.
Real quick, our guy Chet Potter Jr., 4 over through 12 holes.
Yeah, well, that's not disastrous.
No, not in the U.S. Open.
Not when you lead when 200
is leading. So.
By the way, just a couple of quick headlines. We'll talk about in sports. Miami Heat, down 2-1. Thinking of starting Mike Miller tonight. How about that, huh?
How about that?
And finally, also, the Denver Broncos released a guy who was their leading rusher the last 2 years. Johnny J.J.'s good buddies. McGahee. He's gone.
Willis McGahee, gone from the Denver Broncos.
There you go. All right, we're live at the Country Club Ocala. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll be joined, I think, by Laurie Martin Gregory next for a little health talk, right here on the Voice of Ocala. Stay tuned to
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Since 1976, Daniel L. Hightower, a lawyer, has been fighting for accident victim justice in North Central Florida and statewide. He believes everyone in America should follow the rules, including the insurance companies. He and his firm have experience fighting for victims of personal injury, wrongful death, workers' compensation, and Social Security disability, as well as serving those in need of help with bankruptcy, simple wills, and estate plans. The mission at the law offices of Daniel L. Hightower, PA, is to represent deserving clients and recover the maximum benefits they are entitled to by law in a timely manner. In personal injury and workers' compensation cases, there are no fees or costs unless a recovery is made. The law office of Daniel L. Hightower is located at 7 East Silver Springs Boulevard, Suite 300. For your free consultation, call 352-629-7777 or 1-888-LAW-1976 and visit danhightower.com for more information. Daniel L. Hightower, PA lawyer, fighting for accident victim justice, and the proud sponsor of Ask the Cops.
This reprise of Ask the Cops is proudly brought to you by Daniel L. Hightower, PA lawyer, fighting for accident victim justice since 1976.
A couple of weeks ago, I was involved in a minor car accident, and they said they were going to send out highway patrol. And I was wondering if this was like the new philosophy of the Sheriff's Department to keep the boots on the ground and keep our sheriffs out there trying to solve these crimes rather than these minor traffic accidents.
Yes, ma'am, I totally agree with that. We don't investigate accidents, vehicle accidents, in the county, so now we will respond if there's a traffic situation where we need someone there to take care of traffic until Florida Highway Patrol can respond. But we don't investigate traffic accidents. So, and if it's not as serious in nature, then we probably just have the cars pull off to the side, and then you would wait for Florida Highway Patrol to show up to work the case.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram, CEO of Gateway Bank, inviting you to drop by our main office on Silver Springs Boulevard every Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. for the Community Gazette, a 3-hour show focusing on our favorite community to live and work, Ocala, Marion County. Come join us with the voice of Ocala, Buddy Martin, in the new old-fashioned bank radio studio as we discuss a variety of interesting topics on the Community Gazette on WOCA The Source.
1370 WOCA.
On the next AM Ocala Live, Robin and I will be speaking to Dana Manciagli, a recipient of the Women of Influence Award. She's got a book. It's called Cut the Crap and Get a Job.
Open for debate, or you get to choose the topic.
And then Jim George will be on the air. He's the owner of American Cable Services. He'll be telling us what he does to make sure that our homes are very entertaining.
18-year-old Barbara Zelkowski from Ocala will be with us. She has been selected to represent the USA at the international competition this summer in the Czech Republic at the 2013 U.S. Junior World Orienteering Championships. Jen Sincero is a success coach. She's an adventurer and a writer for television. She's written a book called You Are a Badass, How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life.
And then Alan E. Kasdan is coming on. He's the director of the Yale Parenting Center. He's been on Good Morning America, The Today Show, Dr. Phil, and he's coming on AM Ocala Live to speak about his book, The Everyday Parenting Toolkit. All of that plus Fun with Joe on the next AM Ocala Live right here on The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM.
1370 AM.
Phoenix Promotional Solutions, your company supplier of banners, digital decals, yard signs, and magnetic signs. Where you give them approved artwork by noon, the next day by 4 p.m., you pick up your banners, digital decals, yard signs, and magnetic signs. Phoenix Promotional Solutions, 368-2404. That's 368-2404. Don't forget, they do vehicle wraps also. Phoenix Promotional Solutions, 368-2404.
This is Don with ABC Fredericks Appliance. Here's my daughter, Lena.
And hey, everybody, it's Lena. You need to come down to ABC Fredericks Appliance on County Road 25, just over the railroad tracks in Bellevue, where you are treated right with the right products like Whirlpool, Maytag, Crosley, and Speed Queen. These are the new ones. Don't forget, we also carry used appliances that we warranty. ABC Fredericks Appliance does repairs, too. Call us at 629-5181. ABC Fredericks Appliance on County Road 25, just over the railroad tracks in Bellevue. It's at 629-5181.
This is Tom Schmitz live from the Country Club of Ocala with this news break brought to you by the Country Club of Ocala. According to Ocala.com, the Marion County Sheriff's Office are seeking assistance locating William Weber Koenig, 90 of Dunellen, who they say suffers from early stages of dementia. It is believed Koenig left his home between 6:30 a.m. and noon Wednesday, could be traveling to St. Simons, Georgia to visit his girlfriend. Koenig, who suffers from severe Alzheimer's, according to a news release from the Sheriff's Office, is traveling in a 2002 white Chrysler Concorde with Florida tag UFV0Z. If you have any information, please contact the Marion County Sheriff's Department by contacting 911, as this is a silver alert emergency. This news break was brought to you by the Country Club of Ocala. If you'd like to book an event at one of Ocala's premier facilities, call 237-6644 today.
Coming, but I know, change has gotta come now. Ooh, yes it is, man, oh man, oh man. It's been too hard living, oh man, and I'm afraid to die.
We're back on the Voice of Ocala live from the Country Club of Ocala, and now we're going to go to a movie review with our reviewer, Lori Martin Gregory. She went and seen the movie The Internship, starring Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson. Here's Lori Martin Gregory's review of The Internship.
Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson are at it again. For the first time since the 2005 smash Wedding Crashers, the comedic duo has paired up in The Internship, a quirky flick about two Willy Loman salesman types who find themselves outdated and out of a job, desperate to make something of themselves in a world where technology has passed them by. The two finagle an online video interview for an internship at Google, a company known for its unusual interview-style tactics and even more bizarre questions.
You're shrunken down to the size of nickels and dropped to the bottom of a blender.
What do?
You take her flat on your back like
You
this.
just lay back,
Lay
enjoy
stiff
that
as a board, light
breeze,
as a feather,
pretend it's a fan.
and let those balance blades whip all around you like this. So getting an MRI.
Once this blender's on, it's on forever.
It's on.
Respectfully, I got to disagree. We sold blenders, and even the best model in the world is only going to run maybe 10 or 11 hours. So we're getting out, and when we do, we're better off for it, because whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
It's not so much getting out of the blender, it's what happens next. That's the question.
You've got 2 nickel-sized men free in the world. Think of the possibilities.
It's nothing like Wedding Crashers, which is no surprise. Vaughn and Wilson are both dads now, and they've settled down in their on-screen personas as well as in real life. And if you're not downright hardcore Vaughn Wilson diehard fans, you should probably skip this one and wait for it on Netflix. Vaughn, however, has a lot at stake on The Internship. He co-wrote and co-produced the film. It's a safe bet. It's a light-hearted, silly cotton candy of a movie that won't change your life, but will definitely give you a few belly laughs. Plus, it's a fun peek at the inner workings of the mega giant Google, known for its extravagant pamperings like free lattes, sushi, dry cleaning, and massages. I give it 3 stars. This is Lori Martin Gregory for the Voice of Ocala.
Welcome back to the Voice of Ocala live from Country Club Ocala. That was a movie review by Lori Martin Gregory on the movie The Internship. We're live here at the Country Club Ocala, but Lori Martin Gregory live back in the WOCA studios. Lori, how's your day going so far?
It's going very well, thank you. It's so hot outside. I can't believe it was 101 yesterday, and it's supposed to get up to, I think, 100 today as well. It's pretty toasty out there, but it's nice.
It's only hot if you're not on the golf course. If I was on the golf course, it'd be fine. I'd be okay. So, Lori, you went and saw The Internship over the weekend, and your review has got me where I actually want to go see the movie now.
Uh-oh. Well, that's a good thing. I mean, you know, there really aren't too many sort of silly adult movies that, you know, kind of just give you entertainment. We've got these big blockbuster superhero films. I'm actually going to review Man of Steel this weekend for Monday. We've got a lot of those choices, but we don't really have just kind of a goofy, fun, want to go to the movies, eat some popcorn, and laugh kind of film, and that's exactly what this is.
Well, it's one of those, it seems from your review, it's one of those movies where you can just turn your brain off and enjoy it for the humor that it is.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. It's like eating cotton candy. You're not going to get full. You know, it's not good for you, but it gives you a little bit of an escape, and it's just fun.
Well, we got a short time today, and you have such an interesting subject that give me real quick a synopsis. You said Man of Steel comes out this weekend. You're going to review that. Any other huge movies coming out this week, or is that the one that's pretty much on the marquee?
There are a lot that are stacked. I don't have my list in front of me right now, but there's a lot of really good films coming out in the next 2 weeks. This Is the End looks very funny with a whole cast of characters from James Franco to Seth Rogen to Michael Cera, all the quirky sort of freaks and geeks crowd actors, Danny McBride, I think is his name, that have, you know, gone on to become mega comedic movie stars are in this movie. That looks really fun. The one I'm most curious about is Man of Steel. There have been, in my lifetime, so many reboots of the Superman franchise, but this one looks really intense and emotional, and there are a lot of A-list actors that are, you know, more seasoned actors that are playing some of the supporting roles. Russell Crowe, Dennis Quaid, I believe, or Kevin Costner. It's really going to be an interesting take on the story, so I'm really looking forward to seeing it. So I'll have a review for that for next week.
Well, that'll get us through our movie Jones for the week then, with those 2 movies. Now, I know that the ever popular show, I think we've gotten like 130 emails since last week about this show. Let's take time out now to go to the Mommy Minute.
We have 130 emails since last week's show. That's interesting. Do we have our ticking? Oh, look at JJ. He's got my ticking clock.
Well, there you go.
I love it. Thank you, JJ. Yes, this is Lori Martin Gregory with the Mommy Minute. Did you know that there's an estimate that 50% of all children born since the year 2000 will get diabetes? That is a shocking, shocking number. And if you're a mom and you're trying to feed your kids healthy, here are some pitfalls you need to look out for if you want to reduce your children's chance of being one of those 50%. Number one, you want to avoid hidden sugars. Things like wheat and dairy, commercialized wheat and dairy, which turn to sugar. Also processed foods that turn to sugar. Things like Cheetos and, granola bars. You might think that they're healthy, but they actually contain complex carbohydrates that will turn to sugar in your children's system. Avoid juices. Fruit juices have the same amount of sugar as soda. So if you think you're doing a kid a favor by giving them juice instead of soda, ixnay, give them water. Also, you want to substitute any heavy gluten grains like oatmeal and rice with seeds like amaranth, millet, quinoa. These are ancient grains that are superfoods that are very nutritious for the body, and they don't spike the pancreas with that gluten ingredient. And speaking of gluten, stay away from the gluten-free products. That's all the rage. If you go up and down the aisles in the shopping center, in the grocery store, you will see gluten-free this, gluten-free that. It's a trick. Don't be fooled. They're substituting the wheat and the gluten with things like rice flour, tapioca flour, potato starch, all of which turn to sugar and overload the pancreas. And lastly, turn off the screens and go outside to play. Definitely more exercise, more activity, but also being outside and exposure to sunlight will increase your intake of vitamin D. It comes from exposure to the sun. So vitamin D is a really important element, and studies are showing that children and people in general are depleted of vitamin D. So get off the screens, turn off the TV, turn off the iPhones and the iPads, and let the kids go outside and play. Exercise and fresh air is always a good thing. This is Lori Martin Gregory with the Mommy Minute.
So, Lori, I took from your Mommy Minute there that what we did as children when our parents would tell us to shut the door, they'd put us outside on the screen door, should lock the screen door and say, play outside, we'll call you in for lunch, and we would play from sun up till sundown, running around the sun. Parents should get back to maybe doing that for their children, not locking them outside, but making them turn off the video games and get outside and enjoy the great outdoors more.
Absolutely. I've talked to so many people this week, Tom, that just don't feel good. I mean, people are just not really feeling good, and they know they could be feeling better. Everybody from the guy at Lowe's who couldn't finish helping me because he felt so sick, to friends that are contacting me from the West Coast that just don't feel right. And it's hard to be a kid. It's much harder to be a child now than it was when we were younger, because there are more chemicals in our food and our water. There are more processed foods. There are more things you have to look out for. A study was actually released this week. Just yesterday, there was a study done in China and a study done in the United States that demonstrate that levels of BPA that are accelerated in young girls ages 9 to 12 double the chances of obesity for those young girls. Now, BPA, if you're not familiar, is the plastic that it's made from petroleum, and it lines the cans of the food. So any canned food will have a BPA lining. Soda will have a BPA lining. And what happens is...
Well, let's take a break. When we get back, we'll talk about the studies you're referring to that say there's increased chance for obesity in girls. Mm-hmm. And I would wonder why BPA doesn't affect guys the same way. We'll get into that next on the other side. Lori Martin Gregory's Healthy Living. You're listening to us live from the Country Club Ocala on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin for Renstar Medical Research. Every day we hear another story about innovation or about the cutting edge of technology taking place right here in Ocala. The power plant, IHMC, Ocala 489. But did you know that important medical research is also being conducted here that will impact hundreds of thousands of people in the country someday? Maybe you've heard the name Renstar, but like so many others, perhaps you didn't realize Renstar Medical Research is one of the top facilities of its kind anywhere in the U.S. There are important studies being conducted by a highly qualified team of medical experts at Renstar impacting decisions of major pharmaceutical companies and bringing new drugs to market. And you can be a part of these studies, as so many local people are right now. WinStar has conducted more than 500 studies since its inception and would like to extend an opportunity to you to be a part of these. Call 877-629-5800 or 352-629-5800 if you'd like to know more. WinStar Medical Research, locally owned and operated in beautiful downtown Ocala. WinStar, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And so is State Farm agent Angie Lewis, working hard to serve her community as a citizen and insurance agent. Angie wants to help you as you adjust your insurance needs to your life. From everything to helping educate your teen driver to protecting your family against everyday risk. She wants to change the way you perceive insurance by developing relationships with her clients, which is why Angie and her staff are proud to be a part of so many good causes in Ocala. In turn, she has chosen to single out those who step up as leaders. Each month on the Voice of Ocala, Angie spotlights a good neighbor, saluting those who give exceptional service or do random acts of kindness to others. For this, Angie was written up in State Farm's national magazine. Angie also supports local businesses with a regular Biz Buzz. The Angie Lewis State Farm Agency is located at 1122 Northeast 36th Avenue, where visitors are always welcome and a coffee pot is always on. Call your good neighbor's State Farm agent today, Angie Lewis, at 294-2444.
WOCA, Ocala. If you want to avoid getting ripped off and put more money in your pocket, then join me, Clark Howard, every weeknight at 6, right here on WOCA, The Source.
This is Wendy and Will of Dex Imaging. By now, you might be tired of hearing us talk about Dex. So instead of us telling you how much Dex can save you on your copier costs and how we can help your office be more efficient, we thought we'd let Judy tell you.
Hi, I'm Judy, the office manager of Graper Facial Institute here in Gainesville. We operate 8 medical offices, so I was looking for a document management system that would copy, scan, print, and share documents among all of our locations, but something that was within our budget. Dex Imaging recommended a Kyocera with their Index solution. It's been amazing. This machine does everything we need it to, including a direct scan into our current electronic medical record software. Dex even trained us on how to use it. Dex has been a tremendous help in making our practice and my job more efficient.
Thanks, Judy. And remember, call Dex Imaging today for a free workflow analysis to find out how you can save 20 to 30% on your copying and document management needs, just like Graper Facial Institute. Dex Imaging, 352-224-1816. That's 224-1816.
So what did you do with your weekend? Me? I was flying, because I'm taking flying lessons from Ocala Aviation. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, hey, I'd like to give that a shot, but I'm not quite sure. Well, I've got the solution. It's called the Discovery Flight, and that's exactly what it is. It helps you discover the wonder of flying and if it's for you. It's only $99, and it gives you the chance to learn a bit more about the airplane and then actually go for a ride with a flight instructor and take control of the airplane. That's how I got started, and now I'm on my way to being a pilot. I know, scary thought, right? But the demand for qualified pilots is stronger than ever, and with the help of Ocala Aviation, you could make a career change and learn to be a commercial pilot. But it all starts with a Discovery Flight. So stop by the flight school, conveniently located at the Ocala Airport, visit the website at ocalaaviation.com, or call 861-7484. That's 861-7484. Ocala Aviation. Your adventure starts here.
Hello? Can you hear me? Because if you can, then so can your customers. Radio works. Call today to advertise your business right here on WOCA 1370, The Source.
You're listening to WOCA, Ocala.
Sitting in the morning sun, I'll be sitting in the evening.
We're back on the Voice of Ocala, joined by Lori Martin Greger for the Healthy Living segment. Lori, before we went to break, you were talking about a couple studies that showed that BPA, which is the plastics linings in canned goods, soda bottles, all that, were showing that it caused obesity in young women. Tell us a little more about those studies.
Well, what this most recent study shows, and the results were released yesterday, is that if you are a young girl ages 9 through 12, you are actually your risk of obesity doubles if you ingest canned foods, soda pop, anything that has this BPA lining. Now, the tricky thing is, first of all, I don't recommend anybody drink soda. I could do a whole 2-hour show on what the ill effects are of soda. I don't care if it's regular or diet. It's just poison. However, there are some canned, organic foods that are decent, but it's always best to use fresh. I've gotten to the point where I just don't use canned goods at all. And BPA is really the reason. Now, this is a significant study because if you'll remember, a couple of months ago we were talking about a study that came out that said, oh no, BPA is fine. It has no risks or health effects at all.
Right.
Okay. So I'm always suspect of studies like that because usually if you trace, you follow the money, you'll find that often those kinds of studies are actually paid for and conducted by the people that have the most at stake for whatever it is that's in question. Now, unfortunately, the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control, say that nearly everybody in the United States over the age of 6 has BPA traceable in their urine. So that means that this petroleum-based plastic has permeated the population to the point where it's considered normal, quote unquote, for you to have it in your body. Now, if you, consider things like sodas where you have carbonation that clearly is going to help erode some of that plastic. You have, canned tomatoes are one of the most dangerous canned goods you can eat because the acid in the tomatoes over time can also erode that plastic. And then, just go from there. Look at every single canned item that you may have in your pantry. Every time you open any kind of food that's in a can, there are going to be traces of BPA in that food. Now, even though the study is showing that those that are greatest at risk are young girls aged 9 to 12, because it doubles their chance of being obese, they've also in the past have shown that BPA is associated with low birth weight in babies, with asthma, and with sexual dysfunction in men. So even though this specific study released data that was relevant for the population of young girls ages 9 to 12, it really doesn't benefit anybody.
Well, let me ask you this. If the study was done for girls 9 to 12, did it not show it the same way in boys? Did they not do that study?
Well, actually, it said that the study was done with 1,300 elementary age students in China, in Shanghai. It was the group of girls aged 9-12 that showed the greatest risk, and strikingly enough, girls outside of that age range did not experience a risk of obesity, nor did boys. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't other health issues. BPA is rapidly becoming one of a group that scientists called environmental obesogens. And what that is because BPA and its petroleum base is made the way it's made, it actually mimics estrogen in the body. So even if, young men didn't show that they were at risk for obesity, they may be at risk for other issues. And, unfortunately, the term man boobs exists because we are ingesting things like meat with hormones in it, food that comes from BPA-lined cans. These are all things that have estrogen. Men are not supposed to have high levels of estrogen, but when you ingest these foods, you're increasing their ingestion of things like BPA that mimic estrogen in the body. Soy is another thing that mimics estrogen in the body. So if you're a guy, you really should be aware of this. Now, it could be that young girls over age of 12, they start manufacturing their own estrogen. So the BPA is mimicking estrogen at lower levels than what their body's actually manufacturing, so it's not as much of an issue. But I'll tell you this, there are a whole host of reproductive symptoms that are appearing in young girls, that just don't need to be there, that are absolutely environmentally related, including them starting puberty way earlier than they need to. So soy, BPA in canned foods, including soda, these meat that is not hormone-free. If it's not hormone-free, what do you think they use to beef up the breasts in chicken? Estrogen. So if you're not eating chicken, if you're eating chicken out in a restaurant, you are getting feedlot chicken, which has been treated with hormones. It's been fed soy, because soy, of course, increases the growth of the chicken breast faster. And it's being injected with estrogen compounds that are going to increase the productivity of the meat faster so that the farmer can make more money. These are the things that you have to be mindful of if you want to have children that are healthy and balanced. And, you know, it's true for adults too, but it's really crucial for the kids.
Well, so if BPA the studies have found that do this for children, and we're supposed to be protecting our children.
Mm-hmm.
When is it going to be the FDA or whoever the powers to be look into
Never.
a possible alternative for BPA?
Never. And not until there's an outcry that, you know, is of mammoth proportions. You know, this is what I tell clients all the time. You cannot give your health power away to the government, to your physician, to your spouse. You have to be your own health advocate, and you have to stay on top of what's happening in the world. You cannot trust your government to regulate your health. The reason being, government is affected by lobbying groups. The most powerful lobbying group in Washington is the Dairy Council. There are too many politicians running the FDA that have, their big business has their hands in the pockets of these politicians. So well, if you want to take that risk and just give away your power and not trust those kinds of people to be in charge of your health, then that's a big mistake.
All right, let's go to line one. We got Jim. He's got a question for you, Lori.
Hey, Jim.
Hey, Lori. How are you doing today?
I'm doing
Tom,
well.
JJ, and everybody.
How are you?
Hanging in there. I've got a question for you. All the stuff that you talk about, the advice you give as far as diet and everything sounds really good.
Mm-hmm.
But there's, how about for folks like me? I live on disability. I'm living on less than $700 a month, and all that food stuff you're talking about buying is really expensive stuff.
Thank you for that question,
It'll
Jim.
kind of put me down between paying my rent and buying food.
Yeah, I thank you for that question. That is
I'll hang up and listen to your answer.
Thank you so much. That is a really, really good question. It's an important question, and it is a challenge, and I understand because I go through it as well. I often source some of my foods online. I do 90% raw vegan, which is a lot of nuts. Almonds are the same price per pound as filet mignon. Organic almonds are $12 a pound. So when I make organic almond milk, I actually strain out the pulp, and then I use the almond pulp to make other recipes. So I stretch it as far as I can. The best I can tell you is go online and Google all sorts of cost-saving health food websites. They are out there. I do use Amazon Prime because the shipping is included. It's free shipping and you get second-day air. And I will sometimes buy foods that are not perishable that way. Also, I will go up to Trader Joe's in Gainesville once a month. I drive up to Trader Joe's. They just opened about 6 months ago. I'm familiar with them because I lived in California, and they're a California-based grocery. They have a lot of organic stuff, Jim, that is reasonably priced. They're very dedicated to sourcing healthy foods from good sources that are clean. It's kind of like what I would jokingly call the poor man's Whole Foods. You can get a lot of really great prices on some very good food at Trader Joe's. And then the other thing is, we live in a great area for sourcing out local farms. A lot of local farmers are starting to do organic practices, even if they aren't certified organic, because it takes anywhere from 5 to 7 years to get that label and it's expensive. A lot of them are still seeking organic practices as a way to raise their produce and raise their food. So that's a really great way to buy local produce, and if it's grown locally, it's macrobiotic. That means it's that much better for you, and it's going to be a lot more cost effective. So thank you for that question. That's a very good question.
And that's the question a lot of people want to ask all the time, is it's great to do, but sometimes eating healthy is expensive. But isn't it versus the doctor bills and all you pay?
That's the thing. I mean, I've treated a client recently who was spending $900 a month out of pocket for pharmaceuticals. So it's really kind of, what do you want for long term? And at the same time, I understand what Jim's saying. You know, when it comes down to, do I pay the electric bill or do I buy these organic almonds? I mean, that's a tough choice. And, you know, really what you have to kind of do is throw out your perception of the whole old system, and you have to kind of reinvent it one step at a time. You do one thing at a time. You know, I can go up to Trader Joe's and I can buy an entire piece, you know, one side of salmon, wild caught, you know, sockeye salmon for $15. I got 4 meals out of that with my family of 3. Now, it doesn't get much cheaper than that for wild-caught, superfood, you know, omega-rich salmon. So, you know, once you sort of reinvent how you approach food, how you approach eating, you look at it as fuel for your body, nutrition, not entertainment, not comfort. If, you know, you can find other sources for entertainment and other sources for comfort. And if you can't, then that's a whole psycho-spiritual issue that we need to talk about. But in terms of feeding your body, give yourself a chance to really reinvent how you source food and how you budget for it. And one step at a time, you'll find a way to make it work.
All right, Lori. Thanks again. Once again, that's Lori Martin Gregory, Healthy Living. Lori, how can they how can they find you?
If folks want to contact me, they can reach me at LoriGregory.com. LORI-Gregory.com. You can always send me an email at Lori Martin, LORI Martin Gregory @gmail.com.
All right, Lori, thanks again. We'll talk to you next week. Look forward to seeing your review of The Man of Steel and what else you have to try to make my life more healthy next week, because it's all about me, let's remember.
It's all about you, Tom.
All right, thanks, Lori. That was Lori Martin Gregory with her Healthy Living segment, her Mommy Minute, and her movie review segment. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Pat Murray from the Country Club of Ocala joins us right here live from the Country Club of Ocala on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin. I want to tell you about a conversation I had recently with General Manager Pat Murray on the great family atmosphere at Country Club of Ocala.
It's a family-first club. Again, we have any number of different types of memberships, but obviously the one that attracts the greatest level of interest is our family. And the reason for that is we have a little something for everybody. I mean, we obviously have a world-class golf course. We have 7 tennis courts here for all levels of tennis players. We have a junior Olympic-sized swimming pool. We have a fitness center that's second to none, and we have state-of-the-art equipment in our fitness center.
Country Club of Ocala, where the facilities are all a family would ever need. For more information, call today at 352-237-6644. That's 352-237-6644. Country Club of Ocala, proud sponsor of Monday's Gator Report and Gator Talk Thursday right here on The Source.
Hello, I'm Dawn Lovell, lead event designer and owner at Party Time Rentals. Have you ever wondered what it takes to make an event spectacular? Well, look no further. It's what we do every day. Whether you're hosting an intimate dinner for 10 or a gala for thousands, at Party Time Rentals, we find just the right style and elegance to make your event a success. Our extensive inventory of the finest in chandeliers, tents, crystal, china, and specialty items is featured in our fabulous showroom. Stop by and say hello. It's a great way to get ideas for an event and experience for yourself how you can make your party time special.
Party Time Rentals, located on Southwest 10th Street, just off Route 200 in Ocala, and off Southwest 34th Street in Gainesville. For more information, call 352-629-8858. That's 352-629-8858. The party begins at Party Time.
What you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
As far as fish go, tilapia has very low levels of heart-healthy omega-3 fatty acids, and this is important, it's high in unhealthy omega-6 fatty acids. Everything but your shorts should be washed after every workout, because body heat is going to reignite certain odors that get baked into our clothes after a gym visit. Women who wear a little makeup are perceived as more reliable, capable, and more likable.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Stay informed on everything going on in the villages with the Village Spectator newspaper. The Village Spectator is exclusively devoted to the villages with news, commentary, and more. And yes, they have Tom's Picks, Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask is that you tell them where you heard about them. Call Tom's Picks at 804-1223 and pick up your copy of the Village Spectator today.
Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online. Legally Yours, brought to you by Fuller & Fuller Attorneys at Law. On the air every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. with John Fuller, a board-certified civil trial lawyer for over 25 years. John welcomes your questions, from business to complex family matters to legal disputes. So tune in every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. for Legally Yours with John Fuller, right here on WOCA 1370 AM and 96.3 FM, The Source.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing. Our tractor services include bush hog, disking, front-end loader, box blade, and stump grinding. We also have zero-turn mowers for the smaller paddocks, aisleways, fence rows, and lawn care. Fence row spraying is also available for weed control. We are licensed and insured. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440, or online at powellgene, Gene, at yahoo.com. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing.
Welcome back to the Voice of Ocala. We're live at the Country Club of Ocala. Always good to be here, and especially to see the general manager drop by for a visit, as he usually does from here at least 4 times a year, and sometimes more, as we were a couple of weeks ago for the big Seminole deal. Pat Murray, good to see you again.
Well, thanks again for coming, buddy. And I'm happy to see you out for the first day of the U.S. Open. It was as you alluded, last time you were here was a bit of a whirlwind. We had way too many Seminoles out here, but they did themselves proud, and they did a nice job. And I think after the feedback I got from them regarding the golf and the banquet afterwards was all very positive. So we're always glad to do those kinds of things, and it looks like summer has found us here, at least in Central Florida. I know I was out there on the golf course briefly this morning, and
suffocating.
It was. We need the rains to come again. But
Pat, you've been around Florida long enough. You can play in 100-degree weather. You can tough it out. Come on now.
Let me tell you, I am a native Floridian, and people ask me, well, then Pat, you really should be used to this. And I said, no, you adjust to it. You never get used to it. So.
Well, you're like me. You're not quite as old as me, but for sure,
I'm well seasoned.
You know about what it's like growing up when it's hot in Florida. Mm-hmm. And not every home was air conditioned back in my days.
Mine either. I can remember our first place in South Orlando. I did not have air conditioning, but we didn't know any better. We weren't real smart, so
you had the afternoon shower, didn't you?
Absolutely. We got it cooled off, and we lived happily ever after. But yeah.
Let's talk about the club just for a minute. I'm going to have Jason Regan on, the superintendent, here later. He's going to be a cover story soon. The new Darling.
All our boys cover boys, aren't they?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Well, we've got a lot of cover boys out there, and cover girls, by the way.
Absolutely.
And we got some John Sperling on a couple of weeks ago as well.
Yeah,
it was interesting, and a lot of comments on that story because he's a different kind of guy and very popular. As you know.
Very well respected in the tennis community here in Marion County. He's revered by my membership here, so I'm very, very fortunate to have him.
Got good staff, got good people, and. Let's talk about your facility, because I know we've had discussions off call in the last year about what you wanted out of this first-class facility, and the fact that you can have golf, and now the golf course is beginning to really mature into Jason's hand, and you've got the events. You have events like the Seminole outing, which is a lot of people, quite a few people showed up. You have your weddings out here. You have a lot going on around here. And not all members, by the way. Some people come and have their weddings and things over here.
Well, actually, you bring up a good point. I guess the tradition of being a June bride is still very fashionable, and we have a wedding for every weekend throughout the end of the month. And of the folks that are actually getting married here at the club, only one of the brides is actually a member, or our family is a member of the club. So, yes, our banquet facility is available to folks who would like to hold their ceremony, hold their reception here, or hold their special event here. I encourage you to come out and take a look at it and visit with Christy Cartwright, our event coordinator. She's one of the best in the business, and will take great care of you.
don't have a lot of time today because of schedules, but just give me a 60-second overview. You kind of a vision guy. You like to have it. Where do you want to go with this club? What's your vision to Country Club of Ocala?
Well, you know, and it encompasses a lot of things, buddy, but the primary thing is, you know, in the community where we live, when someone is in the decision-making process to become a part of a private country club, I want the decision to be a very simple one. My goal always has been for the Country Club of Ocala to be the club of choice in Ocala, Marion County, and in order to to achieve that end, you do have to offer them very high, the members and the prospects high caliber facilities. You mentioned Jason and the golf course. Our golf course it's probably not like equivalent to Marion, where they're contesting the U.S. Open today, but we're a very, very tough test of golf from any one of the 5 sets of tees. And it's under great care, and it's in the fall. By fall, will be exactly golf course wise where I want us to be. Tennis, you mentioned John Spearling, one of our latest cover boys. We have advanced our tennis membership. We advanced our tennis program. A couple of John's USTA teams are now defending state champions. First time we've been able to hang those kind of banners out here at the Country Club of Ocala, and I know John's proud of it, and I'm very proud of all the effort that he's put into it. I see our membership growing, and one of the things that you talked about, being seasoned. One of the things that I'm very, very proud of is the club is now attracting folks, in the younger age brackets, the younger demographic, and you know what? We have great things for the family. You need to, if you have any questions about those kinds of things, I encourage you to
give your phone number.
Get in your car and come out and see me, or call me at 237-6644, and I'd love to chat with you.
Pat Murray, General Manager and friend. Good to have you here once again. Thanks for having us out. Who's your pick in the U.S. Open, real quick? Don't say Phil Mickelson now.
I wouldn't say Phil Mickelson. I'm going to say Matt Kuchar.
There you go. Thomas Schmitz, you picked 2, Matty Kuchar. All right, thanks, Pat. All right, coming up next, our Brad Rogers from the Ocala Star-Banner will be here. We've got a lot of subjects to talk about, including the educational situation, the teachers' firings, a lot of things. Brad always makes for an interesting subject. We'll take a break, come back for Hour 2 live from the Country Club of Ocala, right here on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
She grew up in an Indiana town, had a good-looking mama who never was around, but she grew up tall and she grew up right with them Indiana boys on an Indiana night.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin. If you have an award or a trophy in your house, there's more than a good chance it came from BJ Trophies Gifts and Awards. At BJ Trophies, Floyd Hirschberger and his staff have a lot more than just trophies. Among the items they specialize in are donor recognition walls and trees, personalized or engraved gifts, cast bronze dedication plaques, wide format digital printing with posters, banners, and signs, and promotional products. Floyd is the official trophy and awards maker for the Voice of Ocala radio show and is North Central Florida's leader in custom recognition programs, corporate awards, industrial engraving, unique gifts, and advertising specialties. When Angie Lewis went shopping for something to award to the winners of her State Farm Good Neighbor Award, she shopped first at BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Check them out at 1735 Northeast Jacksonville Road on North Magnolia's Miracle Mile, or call them today at 352-732-2249. BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Trophies is just our middle name. If you need a sign or a banner for your yard or your business or your campaign, I'd recommend you go to Signs Unlimited at 318 South Magnolia in Ocala. Screen printing, embroidery, digital graphics. Do what I did when we needed signs for the Save the Marion Theater Group. Go see Vic Buttermore at Signs Unlimited if you want quality work with a fast turnaround from somebody who is deeply committed to his community and always ready to assist you. There's a reason Vic's slogan is, "It's our business to make your business better." Sign up for Signs Unlimited. Call 732-7341 today.
Hi, it's Lisa Midget with Kinetic Motion Fitness. I'm looking forward to a fun, healthy summer, and I have a few ideas that might just help you and your friends stay in shape and have fun too. Along with awesome personal training and group classes at our warm and inviting fitness studio, we also offer fitness classes at your home or business. And if you're tired of the same old, boring cake and punch party, why not let us host a hot new health trend, a fitness party at your home or office? If you're having a hard time getting to the gym this summer because of your crazy schedule, then work out with your friends or coworkers in a private group fitness class or host a fitness party at your home or office. We will bring you and your friends or coworkers one of our great workouts like Zumba, Pilates, Body Bar, Yoga, Tai Chi, Boot Camp, or Zumba Tomics for kids. We can even help you reach your long-term goals by meeting at your place weekly for an on-location workout. Check out our website at kmfocala.com and like us on Facebook. Kinetic Motion Fitness is located just 5 minutes from downtown Ocala near the Skylark Plaza. Kinetic Motion Fitness. We're ready when you are.
Hey, I didn't know it rained last night.
Oh, it didn't. Why do you say that?
Because little Johnny's in the backyard playing in that big mud puddle.
Did you leave the hose on?
No, the neighbor borrowed it yesterday.
Wait, is that the side where the septic...
Johnny, get out of there!
Having septic problems? At Mike Scott Plumbing, we can make those septic worries disappear. We can pump your septic tank, repair your drain field, and, if needed, even install a whole new system. At Mike Scott Plumbing, we don't take crap from anyone. We take it from everyone. 237-2888. Mike Scott Plumbing. If water runs through it, we do it.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new
trunk.
trunk.
We can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
Want to feel better, look better, and have fun? I thought so. Then Brick City Health and Fitness Center in Pine Place, Ocala is the place for you. Check out our new functional fitness classes and room, ample cardio and weights, personal and group training, and our healthy cafe. For more information, stop by or call Brick City Health and Fitness 509-3133. And this month, there's an added bonus. Come by and register for your chance to win 2 tickets to the Firecracker 250 on Friday, July 5th, and 2 tickets to the Coke Zero 400 on Saturday, July 6th. Enter to win today, and you could be going down to Daytona.
Habitat for Humanity of Marion County is a ministry dedicated to improving lives by providing affordable and decent housing. Help them help others by visiting the Habitat for Humanity Ocala home store on Northwest 27th Avenue. To schedule a donation, give them a call and they'll come and pick it up. For more information, visit habitatocala.org. Habitat for Humanity of Marion County, building homes, building hope, building community.
What you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
As far as fish go, tilapia has very low levels of heart-healthy omega-3 fatty acids, and this is important, it's high in unhealthy omega-6 fatty acids. Everything but your shorts should be washed after every workout, because body heat is going to reignite certain odors that get baked into our clothes after a gym visit. Women who wear a little makeup are perceived as more reliable, capable, and more likable.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
You're listening to WOCA News Talk 1370, Ocala's source for what's happening in today's hottest, up-to-date news and topics.
The state's governor says right now it appears the air around the plant is safe. Mother Nature isn't helping, but the military has sent fire trucks, helicopters, and massive C-130 cargo planes to Colorado, where firefighters are struggling to contain several wildfires, including one that has already destroyed 360 homes. Will the NSA leaker renounce his U.S. citizenship and tell the Chinese everything he knows? That's what U.S. intelligence officials fear Edward Snowden may do next. The jury selected to hear the second-degree murder case against Florida neighborhood watchman George Zimmerman will be sequestered. He's accused of killing 17-year-old Trayvon Martin. Buying a knockoff in New York? It could cost you more than the real thing. City lawmakers want to make it illegal, and counterfeit buyers could spend 1 year in prison or fined $1,000. This is ABC News.
I need to archive emails to comply with business regulations.
Do you have an IT guy to help search through thousands of PSD files?
No.
Got time to install a complicated product or create detailed reports?
No.
You okay paying storage fees to save duplicate emails and images?
No.
Offshore automated phone tree support okay?
No.
Then yes, we can help.
The Barracuda Message Archiver lets you store and find emails fast to avoid compliance and litigation penalties. Easy setup and single instance storage will save you time and money. And if you need help, you'll talk to a live human. Try the Barracuda Message Archiver free. Go to barracuda.com/yes.
Hi, Tom Bodette. It's never been easier to book a clean, comfortable room at Motel 6. You can book online at motel6.com, use our cool new app on your tablet or smartphone, or call 1-800-4-MOTEL-6 on your dumb phone. Sadly, you can't book by pigeon or Morse code, so if you want the lowest price of any national chain by telegraph, I guess you're just ... I'm Tom Bodette for Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for you.
I'm just sick of all the amateur stuff, you know? I mean, like, if I'm paying top dollar, I want a little production value, you know? Like some editing, transition, something, some music.
Don't worry, we didn't leave you.
He's gone? He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Our bosses say we gotta stay.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
Bow to your sensei. Bow to your sensei. It's time for the second hour of The Voice of Ocala.
Hoo-ah! You ever come across anything like time travel?
Come on, stick around. It's free.
If you win, you win. If you lose, you still win.
Hey, welcome now to the program, The Voice of Ocala. We're live at the Country Club of Ocala, and we have our special guest at this time. It's not about golf today so much. Have you ever played golf, by the way, Brad?
I have a set of golf clubs.
You do? Okay, so you're like me. I'm not a golfer anymore, but I own clubs. Okay. So you've been on the golf course once in your life at least.
Exactly.
Voice of Brad Rogers, editorial page editor of the Star Banner. Always fun to have on the program because he has a lot of current topics to talk about. And he sent me a note earlier today. My goodness, what will we talk about? And, of course, he was being facetious. And I fired back at him, well, there's this, and that's just 1 hour. Plenty to talk about that hour. So got lots to. First of all, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing great.
And everything's going well at the local newspaper.
I got to drive out down some of our scenic roads on my way here today, and it was nice.
Don't get out this way all that often. It's nice to come out here in the country every now and then. Yeah. See how life is. And you being a country boy, you appreciate those green rolling hills, correct?
I love it. Yeah. My wife works at Bellevue Middle School, and she drives from Ocala to Bellevue every day down the scenic roads, and she said that's one of the joys of her job.
Interesting.
Is a beautiful drive every morning, so.
Something about that, it's like when I lived in Colorado, driving out in open spaces like that, it just kind of makes you can just sort of breathe, you know?
Makes you feel good.
Especially if you come from a place up northeast, someplace in a big city, and you come out and you think, wow, I can see blue sky, you know, open spaces, you know, and it makes you feel good. So we got lots to cover this hour, and I'll give you your topics du jour, but tell me first of all, about what kind of response, well, the editorial only appeared today, today's editorial. What kind of response did you get from that editorial today?
Well, I haven't got a lot of response other than what the school board members told Joe Callahan in his article on the front page, which is, you know, what the editorial was a response to the meeting the other night where, you know, it wasn't even on the agenda. And, I mean, you know, I understand that there's, as I kept referring to it the other night, as the process. But to wait to the end of July to start to discuss this as a body, I thought was a little irresponsible. And I mean, the community's upset about these teachers being laid off. And but I thought that with the school board members, I think they got the message that people want them to do something. And unfortunately, you got a new superintendent, and you got 2 new school board members, and you have a couple other school board members that aren't particularly assertive, and so, you know, they don't know what to do, and I understand that, but, you know.
We got to do something, and that was the drift for editorial. Have a plan. At least have a clue. Know that some people were mute about it completely. And the thing that drives me wild about politicians is that, and you make this point in your Sunday piece, which was about a lot of different topics, is that, it's easy to talk about things in the election, but when the reality rolls around, it all seems to change. And the worst thing is that so many people just don't go public. They just don't. They hide in the shadows of anonymity and say nothing. I'd rather come out and say something stupid than not say anything.
Right.
And this idea that, let's keep it on the radar, you don't conduct the public's business on the radar. That's why we have, obviously, the Sunshine Law. But so many of our politicians don't seem, you deal with them every day, and some of them just don't want to say anything.
Well, I was talking to the mayor earlier today, and I said, I don't get the lack of connecting the dots. I mean, our largest employer just laid off 261 employees in the midst of what is supposed to be a recovery, and not a word from the job creation people. Not a word. Pete, I would assume if one of our major corporations laid off 261 people, they'd have something to say about it. But, the first thing an employer says when they come to town, one of the first things they ask is, how are your schools? I was thinking that the day we were standing, I was down on the square, and there's 500 teachers standing there with signs, I was sitting there thinking, what would a CEO think if he was driving through town today? What would he think about our town? And I know it's not easy being balancing a school budget. I got that. But you got 6,000 employees, and the 261 that you come up with to lay off the teachers? I just don't buy it.
Well, here's what I'm missing. I'm missing something in the chronology. It throws me off. When last I looked last year, we were getting over the crisis of only 4-day school weeks. That was the plan originally, and they found some money, right? Am I correct on that? Be able to have.
I love that word, by the way, the found.
Yeah, so they figured out a way to keep. Okay, now we're safe. George Thomas gets elected. As you point out, a lot of people talk about budgets, and I'm sure George didn't know a lot of things. Let's be honest about it. He had to learn when he got on the job where the skeletons were hidden. But the fact remains is that he comes in, and the next solution to lay off all the first-year teachers, what did I miss in between? Why did they go from terrible to okay to bad again? Did I miss something here or what?
Well, the simple fact of the matter is our school board has had it easy. Because remember, in 2009, Jim Yancey proposed laying off 522 teachers. And along came Obama's stimulus package. The stimulus package that everyone said didn't do any good, that, let's say 500 jobs in this town. And 500 middle-class jobs, by the way. And so for 3 years, they lived off the stimulus. And that stimulus also allowed the school system to sock some money away. So when the stimulus money disappeared, then they had a pretty healthy reserve fund. And for 2 years, they lived off the reserve fund. Well, now the stimulus and the reserves are both gone, and now the school board's got to come up with a solution. And I'm sorry, that's what we pay them to do. And sitting back and saying, we can't do anything, that's not an answer. And it makes us look bad, and it is bad for our community.
Well, speaking of making us look bad, we'll take a break and come back, and as long as we're talking negative and being negative journalists that we are, we'll talk about the unfortunate part of what's happening downtown and the situation we've got to deal with. The mayor's very upset about it. He was on the program yesterday. He said he was going to meet with you today and talk to you this morning, whatever. And so, but we don't want to go backwards here. What we're seeing is some regression. I don't know what can be done about if you can call it a crime spree. I don't know if you can or not, but there have been several robbery now and, triple murder or whatever, going downtown. I know we have Greg, we'll have Greg Graham on tomorrow to ask the cops, and he's just straight up answer the questions. But we're looking for solutions here. And if we get to a point where our educational system deteriorates because we lay off first-year teachers, our young, talented teachers, like I said yesterday, it's like a football team losing a recruiting class. What would the Seminoles or Gators be like? They lost their whole class for a year. And then to get that, and then the downtown does become unsafe, at least a perception that it does. Right. And we're going backwards. We got to guard that. Because one of the things we're going to talk about this hour is, what does quality of life mean to us here in Marion County? Despite what some people say, it means a lot. It means to people who are moving here, and it means a lot to those of us who live here. So We'll take a break. We'll come back and we'll talk to Brad Rogers about that and other topics right here on the Voice of Ocala. Listen to us on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com, The Source.
Since 1976, Daniel L. Hightower, a lawyer, has been fighting for accident victim justice in North Central Florida and statewide. He believes everyone in America should follow the rules, including the insurance companies. He and his firm have experience fighting for victims of personal injury, wrongful death, workers' compensation, and Social Security disability, as well as serving those in need of help with bankruptcy, simple wills, and estate plans. The mission at the law offices of Daniel L. Hightower, PA, is to represent deserving clients and recover the maximum benefits they are entitled to by law in a timely manner. In personal injury and workers' compensation cases, there are no fees or costs unless a recovery is made. The law office of Daniel L. Hightower is located at 7 East Silver Springs Boulevard, Suite 300. For your free consultation, call 352-629-7777 or 1-888-LAW-1976 and visit danhightower.com for more information. Daniel L. Hightower, PA lawyer, fighting for accident victim justice, and the proud sponsor of Ask the Cops. This reprise of Ask the Cops is proudly brought to you by Daniel L. Hightower, PA lawyer, fighting for accident victim justice since 1976.
My question is, how many motorcycle patrolmen are working right now between the police department and the county, and how many are there?
The police department has 6 traffic officers who ride motorcycles. It is a specialized assignment. It's always the same 6, and they're highly trained on how to handle that motorcycle and in traffic law investigation and enforcement. I'm not sure how many the sheriff has.
Yeah, we have around 4. It's the same here. I mean, they're specially trained. They're assigned to a traffic unit. I have a sergeant over top of that unit. I had a lieutenant, but when I took office, I went ahead and made a change and put that lieutenant in a district, and so now the sergeant heads that unit. And we have motorcycles. They could be in cars too, so it depends on them, depends on the weather conditions.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram, CEO of Gateway Bank, inviting you to drop by our main office on Silver Springs Boulevard every Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. for the Community Gazette, a 3-hour show focusing on our favorite community to live and work, Ocala, Marion County. Come join us with the voice of Ocala, Buddy Martin, in the new old-fashioned bank radio studio as we discuss a variety of interesting topics on the Community Gazette on WOCA, The Source.
WOCA.
Need a fun activity for your kids? Camp Caballo is being hosted by the Marion Therapeutic Riding Association and accepting riders aged 7 through 13. Riders will learn proper horse care and horse-keeping skills through creative projects relative to horses and will have riding and grooming lessons. Space is still available for the week of June 17th. The entire week at camp is only $250 per child. Ask us about discounts for multiple registrations. Call Lori at 352-732-7300 for more information. Hurry, call today.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA, The Source.
Howdy, folks. RL here to invite you to Dairy Queen for a great new meal. Dairy Queen's now serving 3 different $5 meals. Hot dogs with chili, cheese, slaw, whatever. Quarter pound with cheese loaded up any way you like it. Solid filet chicken tenders. And each meal comes with fries, a drink, and a sundae for only $5. You got that right. Nobody beats that deal. A great value and a great meal. So come on down to Dairy Queen at Silver Springs where they always treat you like kings and queens.
This is a public notice. Local residents can now save thousands of dollars on their next car, truck, or SUV. It's not a tent sale, because no tent is big enough to hold this many cars. It's ocalaforsale.com. Say goodbye to sticker shock. Ocalaforsale.com has thousands of vehicles with no stickers at all. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to ocalaforsale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, less roofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
WOCA.
This is Tom Smith live from the Country Club of Ocala with this news break brought to you by Country Club of Ocala. The Marion County Sheriff's Office are seeking assistance locating William Weber Koenig, 90, of Dunellen, who they say suffers from early stages of dementia. It is believed Koenig left his home between 6 a.m. and noon Wednesday and could be traveling to St. Thomas, Georgia, to visit his girlfriend. Koenig's suffers from Alzheimer's, according to news release, and he's driving in a white Chevrolet white 2002 Chrysler Concorde with Florida license plate UFB 0Z. If you have any information, the Sheriff's Department asks that you call 911, as this is a silver alert emergency. This news break was brought to you by the Country Club of Ocala. If you would like to book an event at one of Ocala's premier facilities, call 237-6644 today. Welcome back to the Voice of Ocala. Our guest here at Country Club Ocala, Brad Rogers, and full-page editor of the Ocala paper, the Star Banner. I should say Marion County papers. It's not Ocala Star Banner anymore.
It is.
Is it still? It
went to the Star Banner, and then people got upset that we took Ocala out.
Is it Ocala back in again?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad to know that, because that's when we're the voice of Ocala. We're not the voice of Central Florida. We're just the voice of a little tiny little area of, Marion County. A little tiny program with like 35 listeners. Are we up to 35 yet? JJ says we're in the 40s now, 47. There we go. So, and Brad's wife might be listening, so it could be 48 today. You never know. So, Brad, good to have you. We had some spirited conversation, and just to clarify, some people who are listening, talking about the number of people laid off and challenged your figures. That's what it was. Someone texted me and said, it's not accurate. They were not teachers who were laid off. Why don't you explain the figures again?
Well, according to the superintendent in the press release that he gave us, the chart that he issued to the employees, there's 261 employees, 160 are first-year teachers, 72 of them are paraprofessionals or teachers' aides. I can't remember the exact number of PE, art, music teachers, and there were 16 clerks. But there were no administrative positions. Now, there's also a lot of positions that are vacant that they're not filling, and I don't know what the breakdown of those things are. But in terms of the 261 layoffs, there are no administrative positions in that.
All right, so let's take George Thomas' position on this, and just look at it and say, okay, he's got a shortfall.
Right.
He has to go into the reserves, right?
Right.
He can't use money to set aside for buildings, so that's a different fund.
Right.
You can't use, and you also can't go use half-cent sales tax for salaries. That's only for building and infrastructure. Right. The mayor reminded us of that yesterday.
Right.
And so if the sheriff's got an idea of getting more cars and raising his salary on the half-cent sales tax, it's not going to work if you can't do it by law. So you're in a position here where you're looking at, look, here it is. Here's what I got to spend. Here's how much I'm having to spend. There's a shortfall. So what are you saying? He obviously doesn't have enough money. We don't want to go to 4 days a week schools. Short of laying people off, what do? Do you have buyouts like businesses do with older teachers, where you say, oh, if you're 60 and you've taught 30 years, you want to get your retirement early, and what would you recommend they do?
Well, one of the things they complain a lot about, and I think this is something they got to explore. But they decided this year that they were going to violate the class size amendment. And okay, so our school board is going to break the law because it's cheaper to break the law than it is to adhere to it. Well, as long as we're in that mode, one of their assertions is that the new testing regulations requires them to spend so much money. I got to buy computers, I got to buy this, I got to have staff to do that. And if they're going to break the law on class size amendment, maybe they need to look for ways to get around the testing laws. I mean, I hate to advocate that, but if that's what we're to, if you got 6,000 employees, buddy, out of 6,000 employees, the only 260 you can spare are the ones that come in the direct contact with the students on a daily basis. I mean, they got 6,000 employees. And out of that 6,000, the only 260 they figured they could spare were those teachers and teachers' aides.
Do you think they're too fat administratively, or too fat in other areas? What do you? You're pretty good at looking at budgets, because I've seen some of your work. But I'm terrible at it.
I am too.
It's based on what you know in the budget. If you know, do you think there's other areas of fat that it could be trimmed? Because
I don't think there's any fat.
Okay.
I will tell you right now, I do not think there's any fat. I think we were cutting into the bone a long time ago. But when you're starting to lay off teachers...
What do we do? What do we do?
Well, I think you're going to have to look at some transportation things.
Fewer buses? Well,
maybe.
I think that's exactly where I would look first, privatizing the bus system.
Well, they passed
They did that in Jacksonville.
Yep.
That's how they did the budget in Jacksonville.
May need to revisit that issue. I think they're going to have to look at some furloughs for administrative people. I mean, you laid off 260 people. 160 of them make $35,000 a year. That's a middle-class income in this community. That's a middle-class income in this community.
So they're going to go with substitute teachers or part-time teachers or what?
Well, they're going to offer these teachers full-time substitute jobs, but they're not going to have any planning responsibilities. They're not going to have any after-school responsibilities. I mean,
they're not going to have any insurance benefits. They're going to get $100 a day. 180 days, that's $18,000. You're getting a $30,000, $35,000 a year job for $18,000.
Right. You know, I like to tell the story. The job market's getting to where if you're qualified and you're good at something, you're going to have a decent job. If they think that these 160 first-year teachers are going to hang around Ocala and Marion County, you know, until their job reopens, I think they're probably sadly mistaken.
My question, Brad, is we have Legacy, which is a brand-new school that was just built.
Right.
How are they going to fill that school if they're laying teachers off?
Oh, they're going to have somebody in the classroom. May not be a teacher, but they're going to have somebody in the classroom teaching. It's just a sad situation, and I feel for George Thomas. I mean, this is his first year in office after he ran on a platform of I can balance the budget by cutting fat in the system, and then he finds out the reality hits him. It isn't that easy, but I'm sorry, we didn't promise them their jobs would be easy, and we didn't promise the school board that someone would come along and bail them out every year when there was a tough budget decision to be made. But laying off teachers and solely teachers isn't the answer. So I wish if I had the answer, I'd be the superintendent.
Brad Rogers, head coach, page out of the Star Banners, I guess. Let's shift gears for a second. Now, obviously, we can't solve the school teachers' problem at this point in time. Let's talk about the triple murder downtown.
Yeah.
You've lived here a long time. I'm, from here and lived here a good while in my life, and I don't remember anything quite like that in around town. And they have to go back to Bernard Watts' day in 1950 when the madman, shot and killed some people over, I don't want to say it's where the Walgreens is now, but somewhere in that area over there, 10th Street or something.
Right.
And to have something like that, everybody's upset about it.
Right.
We know a little about the case. We'll know more about it at the trial. You think, well, it could happen anywhere, anytime, to anybody in any town. And it could, because this is not a drive-by from a Miami hitman.
Right.
This is people that knew each other. So, that's disturbing. The second thing that's disturbing is to hear that there was a robbery at Starbucks 2 days ago downtown. So, you wonder where all of a sudden this is happening. You talked to the mayor this morning. You thought about what is your feeling about it? I'm not saying anybody's derelict. I'm not saying the chief's not doing a great job. I think he is.
Right.
But, I mean, it's still, the fact is it happened, and it bothered you.
But you know what? The shooting, the triple murder, that was a personal thing. They knew each other. That wasn't some wild-eyed criminal who randomly picked somebody off the street. Obviously, there was something personal there. And so, while it's unfortunate, and it's a really tragic thing, I don't feel unsafe taking my wife downtown. I don't know enough about the robbery at outside of Starbucks. I heard about it. I think what the mayor told me, and I think by what he told you yesterday, they're going to beef up police patrols and make their presence have a visible presence downtown. I think he told me today he's going to put 7. They're going to have 7 officers on the square. That's pretty thick. I don't know what they can do.
Well, they had
I don't think
two officers right there. They were within a block when it happened.
But again, that was a personal.
No, you couldn't think about it. So
Right.
I'm saying that may not be the answer because they had people there. It wasn't like they had.
I'm more concerned about the guy that got robbed between Ritter's and Starbucks.
It's Liquid now. It's not Ritter's.
Liquid.
You can tell Brad frequents the bar scene downtown a lot.
I'm a bar crawler in downtown. Anyway, Liquid and Starbucks, because I mean that's a random crime. I mean, as opposed to what happened over in front of AJ's.
So you're saying that the robbery is more troubling for the safety of downtown than the triple murder at AJ's was?
Yeah.
And I agree. I think because the triple murder at AJ's, because it was amongst people who knew each other, he could have waited till they got home. He could have done it at the grocery store if they were going to get a late night beer before it was time before beer stopped selling. He could have done that anywhere.
Right.
It just was unfortunate it happened in front of AJ's.
That may have been when the opportunity presented itself to him. He may have been following them around all night.
The robbery where the man was beat up and his wallet taken, that is very concerning to me. Okay, I'm reading from the Star Banner op-ed page, a column by some guy named Brad Rogers. What a week it has been. Talk about all the things we've discussed: teacher layoff, 3 men gunned down, so and so. And under the first heading in bold caps, reality check. How long for the dog days of summer 2012? George Tomlin and Chris Blair were on the campaign trail, assuring us voters they could balance budgets and maintain the quality of our schools and sheriff's office, respectively, without any new taxes. There was enough waste and mismanagement that, if rooted out, they could educate and protect sufficiently, no problem. Boy,
I hate when politicians do that. I hear that and buddy, I don't know how many elections you've been through, but they always say, "Oh, there's enough fat and waste in there. We can cut it. We just streamline and manage smarter. We can do it." And after so many years of hearing that, I ask them, "Exactly what fat would you cut?" And they can never answer. And then they always get in. And what happens is what's happening here. I think George Tomlin's situation is different than Chris Blair's. I mean, George Tomlin, his $29 million shortfall is somewhat caused by the legislature. Legislature mandates and funds. Chris Blair, I think most of what the sheriff is asking for is probably legit. But really, to ask for it in one fell swoop, when I mean, come on. Unless he thinks that if he asks for his $20 million, he's going to get $10 million.
That's one school of thought. I mean, yeah.
But I can tell you right now, he's not getting $10 million. I've already been told from everyone at the county offices, if he thinks he's going to ask for 20 and get 10, he isn't getting 10.
All right, so it depends whose fat you're talking about. If you're running for office, if it's the other guy's fat, when you're elected, it's your fat. So it's a little bit different, naturally. The point is that if you look at his request and you look at his figures he's got, and I've seen some of it, I don't know thing. Blair's got a legitimate case about the problems with the cars. Some of them are really old. The last administration didn't replace them. There's a lot of infrastructure there. The sheriff's salaries are down. That can't be taken by one fell swoop. Right. That's got to be an overall upgrading of the whole situation. But I think the thing is that is it what we talk about now? There's nothing that can happen here, in my opinion, without mentioning the dirty T word, taxes, raising taxes, and nobody is going to raise taxes. If there's a person on the council, city council, or the county commissioner who would even embrace the idea of anything other than the half-cent sales tax, I'd be shocked.
Well, here's what and I'm going to write about this when I send the editorial. So, but it's time we have to look at some reality. I mean, there are some things that you have to have. You have to have adequate schools. You have to have adequate law enforcement. Look. I want to kind of address one thing, and you brought up the condition of the sheriff's department, and some people have alluded to the condition of the finances of the school system. Like them or hate them, Ed Dean and Jim Yancey, from my experience, I mean, they genuinely cared about the good of the community. And one of the things they did, and people forget this, but there was a time not too long ago when we had 14% unemployment in this town, and a person's greatest fear was that they would lose their job because there were no jobs at all to go to. And Yancey and Dean, and they both told me this, that's why they didn't buy cars. That's why they didn't fix roofs. That's why they took every penny they had to try to avoid layoffs, because their fear was if someone got laid off, that they'd not only get laid off, they'd lose their home, they wouldn't be able to find a job. And so they did everything, they let everything go except keeping people
compassion. And whereas you can't go out and take money that's spent for infrastructure and spend it on salaries, I said to you, if you don't spend money on the cars, you can save dollars.
Right.
The reverse is not true. So.
But you're right. It's time that our elected officials get some intestinal fortitude. I was going to say something else, but they get some intestinal fortitude and do what's right for the community instead of thinking once again, we're thinking no further than the next election or the next budget.
Yeah. Brad Rogers is our guest. We come back, we're going to talk about HMA and what's going on there. The new, is it lessees or leasees or whatever, Monroe Regional. And things are not looking real good for HMA. It's something you pointed out in your Sunday column. And what's going on there? Are we partnering up with the right people? Well, a lot of questions there. We'll talk to Brad Rogers. More about that next right here on the Voice of Ocala. 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Is your old car a strikeout? Strike one.
It's embarrassing to drive.
Strike two.
It costs too much to maintain.
Strike three.
You owe more than it's worth.
You're out of there.
Hey, this is Chris Spears from Prestige Auto Sales. I'm celebrating two of America's favorite pastimes, baseball and driving.
So this week you can hit a grand slam.
I'm giving you a ton of cash off a nicer, newer car you'll love to drive.
Are you riding the bench because of bad credit? Our For the People credit approval process goes to bat with the banks and lenders to help you get approved and back in the game.
Join the major leagues and start driving a car you love.
Come see us during our Drive It Out of the Park event and get a ton of cash off a new ride.
Hurry, this game isn't going into extra innings. The stadium goes black after we've helped 57 people score a new ride. My name is Chris Spears, and I'm a dealer for the people.
Visit Prestige in Ocala or Bellevue, or call 694-1234. See you at Prestige.
Recently, I had a great conversation with General Manager Pat Murray on the special events at Country Club of Ocala.
We have a lot of events, special events here that are geared towards the family. Easter comes to mind. We have an Easter bunny who hops around on the driving range. We usually hide somewhere in the neighborhood of 3,000 eggs and turn them loose and let them go harvest the eggs. We have a great family celebration here on the 4th of July where it's a traditional cookout, if you will. And as the sun goes down, the driving range becomes alive with probably one of the better fireworks displays in the area. Breakfast with Santa is a big deal.
Country Club of Ocala, where the Easter Bunny, Santa, and all the children, large and small, are a big deal on every special occasion. For more information, call 352-237-6644. That's 352-237-6644. Country Club of Ocala, proud sponsor of the Monday Gator Report right here on The Source.
Call me crazy. Some people say insanity is doing the same thing over and over expecting a different result. I think insanity is 1,000 single-sided full-color business cards for $15 or packing service for 50% off. Call me crazy. Regency Printing on the corner of Northeast 25th Avenue and 24th Street, 789-6683. That's 789-6683. Look for the yellow signs.
Need a fun activity for your kids? Camp Caballo is being hosted by the Marion Therapeutic Riding Association and accepting riders aged 7 through 13. Riders will learn proper horse care and horse-keeping skills, do creative projects relative to horses, and will have riding and grooming lessons. Space is still available for the week of June 17th. The entire week at camp is only $250 per child. Ask us about discounts for multiple registrations. Call Lori at 352-732-7300 for more information. Hurry, call today.
This is Don with ABC Fredericks Appliance. Here's my daughter, Lena.
And hey everybody, it's Lena. You need to come down to ABC Fredericks Appliance on County Road 25, just over the railroad tracks in Bellevue, where you are treated right with the right products like Whirlpool, Maytag, Crosley, and Speed Queen. These are the new ones. Don't forget, we also carry used appliances that we warranty. ABC Fredericks Appliance does repairs too. Call us at 629-5181. ABC Fredericks Appliance on County Road 25, just over the railroad tracks in Bellevue. It's at 629-5181.
News Talk 1370. WOCA invites you to discover your full business potential. News Talk Radio is the perfect environment for your advertising. WOCA's News Talk format pinpoints information-hungry, better educated, high-income adults. So use us to talk to them. Call 732-8000. 732-8000. We're Ocala News Talk Radio. News Talk 1370 WOCA.
Hey, I'm Gary.
And I'm Eric. Did you know that Red Eye Radio is on WOCA The Source every night from 2 to 6 a.m. and it's live?
That's right. No tape shows here.
We know that the news doesn't sleep.
And neither do we. So we're here with you live from 2 till 6 a.m. every weekday. Call us 866-90-RED-EYE. So join me, Gary McNamara.
And me, Eric Harley, every weeknight to discuss the latest in news and entertainment.
Right here on WOCA The Source.
I could not foresee this thing happening to you. If I look hard enough.
Hi, welcome back to the Voice of Ocala on a Thursday. We're at Country Club Ocala live. Yes, opening going on. Last time I looked, Phil Mickelson was leading at 300. We'll check that with Mr. Golf. Next hour, Mr. Golf will give you a complete update. We'll also have visits from Steve Albright, reigning Marion County Golfer of the Year, and Jason Regan, who's the new superintendent here at Country Club Ocala. We'll drop by and talk about the condition of the golf course. Meanwhile, we're having an interesting discussion with the editorial page editor of the Star Banner, and he had kind of a few little dings at people in his column. I like that. I like that, Tom. I like it when you get a little zap every now and then. He doesn't know you're around. You know what I'm saying? It's like a bee stinging him, but just hey, just a little bit of it. What's the saying about comfort the afflicted, afflict the comforted? Is that the old saying? Brad Rogers is here. I want to talk about HMA. I'm confused. I know where you stand on the hospital situation, and I somewhat sound like I'm saying the same way. But now we're pretty much in bed with HMA, who paid $212 million to Lisa Monroe Regional, 40 years, okay? And it was all feel good because, and I wrote about it in my little publication, that they gave money to a worthy charity we both care about a lot in this community, $1 million, and I think that's great. But now we have all these billing irregularities, not a good term, all right? And the Justice Department is investigating allegations that the company pressured doctors, and we've seen the 60 Minutes shows, HMA. Not a good thing to have with a company that's taking over your hospital, and you alluded to this and talked about this, and you mentioned the trustees have not signed away our hospital yet. They haven't? I thought they did.
What they did was yesterday they signed, I think it was yesterday, this week, since Monday, I guess it was yesterday, they signed a letter of intent, which basically...
Well, scholarship. They're going to have
which basically starts the process. But in terms of, basically the negotiating process is formally underway. And while most of it, I think probably most of the generalities are taken care of, what they got to do now is hammer out the details. And
are you good with it?
I got two schools of thought, buddy. I mean, first of all, no, I'm not good with it because we got a top 100 hospital. That's been a top 100 hospital for the past 10 years. And by the way, the competition across the street's a top 100 hospital. You think that's a coincidence? Ever occurred to anybody? All these people that like to talk about free market competition, you think it's a coincidence that the two hospitals in Ocala that are right across the street from each other are both top 100 hospitals? And
well, why is that?
Because Monroe's been able to have done things that
Pace Center.
They've done things that a private hospital corporation wouldn't do.
The heart hospital and all the things they did
all
there.
the stuff they did. and they made Ocala Regional raise the bar. And nothing against Ocala Regional, fine hospital, good hospital, been there, had back surgery there. But I think this will be a game changer. And but they have a meeting next week, the trustees and the county commission. And if I were heading that meeting, I would be inviting Alan Levine, the head of HMA Florida. Guy sent me an email. I was stunned on Sunday morning after my column ran at about 8:30. I had an email from the head of HMA in Florida, and I granted.
And said,
"Oh, it was about 3 pages of defending HMA and how they hadn't done anything wrong, and how it just was just allegations. There was no."
We need to have them on the radio sometime. Let them explain their position. I'd like to hear that.
Well, you saw the 60 Minutes piece.
Yeah.
I mean, their position basically is we're not doing anything any different than our competitors. Of course, I'm not sure that his competitors aren't under investigation either.
And we don't want to be like everybody else, right?
Well, there's just a lot of smoke, and I don't necessarily believe just because there's a lot of smoke there's a fire, but when you got the Justice Department, the SEC, the Securities Exchange Commission, and 60 Minutes all breathing down your neck, there got to be something wrong. And but I've also heard people, and these are people I respect, and who were ardent supporters of the hospital tax, said, what other choice do we have other than HMA? And I'm not sure we did.
Yeah. And let's be honest. We may be viewed by people as just a couple of cracker boys who don't know any better, who think they just want their old hospital back. We don't know any better. I had a guy tell me, "You don't get it. This is not the way they operate hospitals anymore. Those days are over. If you're an old fuddy-duddy, and so I'm thinking, I thought it operated pretty darn good. I mean, starting the day they brought me into the world over there, I was born there, but I mean, am I missing something here, or does it have to be a certain model we have to follow?"
Well, I looked at all their other acquisitions, and I talked to Alan Levine, and quite frankly, we talk about the $212 million. We haven't talked about the $150 million they're going to put towards capital improvements. I mean, when this deal's all done, it's going to be a $400 million deal.
Yeah.
And you go look at any of HMA's other acquisitions, or whatever you want to call it, over the past 10 years, and you find one that's even close to this. And I asked Levine, I said, "Why are you willing to pay so much?" Because it's that good of a hospital. It's that good of a hospital.
There you go. Thanks to those.
It's going to be their bet. When they buy that, when they get that acquire Monroe, it'll be the best hospital in their system. And, hopefully it'll stay that way.
We got just about a minute and a half here before we have to go, unless you want to stay around with it, help me read tweets and quotes within the next 5 minutes. But the deal is that we talked to the mayor about this. You made a comment, Bob, in your comment about this. A consultant came to town and told the people who are job creators in this town, I'll just say it, Kevin Shealy, I love Kevin, he's my neighbor and all that kind of stuff, and told him, apparently, that when they recruit businesses, that quality of life in Ocala and Marion County was not a factor to them. And you almost flipped out when you heard that, and so did the mayor.
Right.
So your comment, please.
Buddy, you've lived around Florida. I mean, it's such a ridiculous statement, it doesn't even hardly bear explaining. I mean, people live in towns that are nice to live in. Do you know anybody that moves to a town that's crappy to live in? No. They move places because they're nice places to live. If we want to live in crappy places, we can go to Jasper. We can go, I can tell you a bunch of places that are really cheap.
Oh, wait,
to
Tom
live.
is from Jasper, just like Tom.
I'm not surprised. No. People want places that are cool to live. They want things to do. They want a place that are proud to live in, that are beautiful. I mean,
there's a reason Silicon Valley's in Northern California.
Hey, hey, to say that quality of life doesn't matter is ridiculous. The first things that anybody asks, I guarantee you, when anybody moves to a town, they ask, "What do you guys do around here? What are your schools like? What is your health care like? And then maybe what your taxes are like."
And sometimes your churches. I've even had some people that your community of faith, or your tax base, obviously your health care, your education, all those things. And just not forget to mention the great outdoors we have here.
Right.
which is not too shabby. One reason people move to Denver and never want to leave is because they got the mountains right there. They got all this wonderful weekend living.
It's one of the great shortcomings of our community, I think, is that we undersell ourselves. We way undersell ourselves. We have more going for us than almost any community in Florida, and we do a terrible job of selling it to the rest of the world.
Well, thanks for standing guard for us, will you? And by the way, I always appreciate you coming on and give us your thoughts and your opinions and your insights, and it's always fun to have you on. And appreciate your work at the paper and keeping people honest and keep tweaking. I think that's what we need. That's the job. That's the job of.
I appreciate it, buddy.
All right, thanks, Brad.
Thanks.
Brad Rogers, editorial editor of the Star Banner. We come back. We'll finish up with Tweets and Quotes right here live from Country Mountain Ocala on a Thursday. Listen to the program on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Hi, this is Lisa Midget, owner of Kinetic Motion Fitness here in Ocala, Florida. A lot of you have experienced our great classes in personal small group training, but did you know we now offer dynamic workouts on DVD? These high-quality, locally produced, effective DVD workouts can go where you go. Going on vacation? No problem. We can go with you. Friends and relatives out of town who are jealous that you get to come to KMF? No problem. We ship anywhere in the United States for free. Our great lineup of 4 DVDs includes Kinetic Achieve, Kinetic Couples, Kinetic Core, and Kinetic Campus. 4 great workouts for the entire family on DVD. Sound interesting? Check them out on our website at kmfocala.com. While you're there, check out our class schedule and come see us. We're only 5 minutes from downtown across from the Skylark Plaza. Visit kmfocala.com and like us on Facebook. KMF will get you results at our studio or at home with one of our DVDs. Kinetic Motion Fitness. We're ready when you are. Visit kmfocala.com for more information.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin. If you have an award or a trophy in your house, there's more than a good chance it came from BJ Trophies Gifts and Awards. At BJ Trophies, Floyd Hirschberger and his staff have a lot more than just trophies. Among the items they specialize in are donor recognition walls and trees, personalized or engraved gifts, cast bronze dedication plaques, wide format digital printing with posters, banners, and signs, and promotional products. Floyd is the official trophy and awards maker for the Voice of Ocala radio show and is North Central Florida's leader in custom recognition programs, corporate awards, industrial engraving, unique gifts, and advertising specialties. When Angie Lewis went shopping for something to award to the winners of her State Farm Good Neighbor Award, she shopped first at BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Check them out at 1735 Northeast Jacksonville Road on North Magnolia's Miracle Mile, or call them today at 352-732-2249. BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Trophies is just our middle name.
On the next AM Ocala Live, Robin and I will be speaking to Dana Manciagli, a recipient of the Women of Influence Award. She's got a book. It's called Cut the Crap and Get a Job.
Open for debate, or you get to choose the topic.
And then Jim George will be on the air. He's the owner of American Cable Services. He'll be telling us what he does to make sure that our homes are very entertaining.
18-year-old Barbara Zelkowski from Ocala will be with us. She has been selected to represent the USA at the international competition this summer in the Czech Republic at the 2013 U.S. Junior World Orienteering Championships. Jen Sincero is a success coach. She's an adventurer and a writer for television. She's written a book called You Are a Badass, How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life.
And then Alan E. Kasdan is coming on. He's the director of the Yale Parenting Center. He's been on Good Morning America, The Today Show, Dr. Phil, and he's coming on AM Ocala Live to speak about his book, The Everyday Parenting Toolkit. All of that plus Fun with Joe on the next AM Ocala Live right here on The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM.
1370 AM.
Phoenix Promotional Solutions, your company supplier of banners, digital decals, yard signs, and magnetic signs. Where you give them approved artwork by noon, the next day by 4 p.m., you pick up your banners, digital decals, yard signs, and magnetic signs. Phoenix Promotional Solutions, 368-2404. That's 368-2404. Don't forget, they do vehicle wraps also. Phoenix Promotional Solutions, 368-2404.
This is James Snyder inviting you to join me each Sunday morning at 9:30 for Sunday Joy, right here on WOCA 1370.
WOCA,
Right here since 1957. We're WOCA, News Talk 1370.
I see
Hi, welcome back to the Voice of Ocala. We'll wind up hour 2. We're at the Country Club of Ocala. Glad to be here. Coming up next hour, we'll be talking to Jason Riggin, superintendent of Country Club of Ocala. How he's done a fine job on this golf course. And Marion County Golfer of the Year, Steve Albright, currently cover boy on 2 local magazines. And we'll chat with him. Meanwhile, Mr. Golf, have you checked lately on what's going on at the U.S. Open? There is a tournament going on. Phil Mickelson at 3 under leads the tournament with a 67. The next closest people are Stewart, Steele, and Zach Johnson, all at 1 under, and then a host of people at even. So right now, Phil Mickelson 2 in front of the field at 3 under. You're going to give us a full breakdown here after the break, right? Come back. Mr. Golf will be on top of that. Tell us what our boy Teddy's doing and what have you. So we will take a break and come back in just a minute. Meanwhile, JT, fire up that music. It's time to do tweets and quotes. Just kind of a mediocre batch today. Semi-serious stuff. A few well-known names. Number 1 from Ralph Waldo Emerson. I like to be called Waldo. That's a great name there. Waldo Martin. But it is dark enough. You can still see the stars. That's true, by the way. All right. If it's really, really dark in a place, you can see a different view of the stars. Lake Powell, fabulous place to watch the stars. Number 2, this comes from Quote Soup. Oscar Wilde says, I can resist anything except temptation. And finally, from someone named Charles Kettering, my interest is in the future because I'm going to spend the rest of my life there. All right. Always good to have a Brad Rogers on. He's full of good thoughts and opinions, and he deals in opinions. And he stays on top of, I'm not sure if that's JJ's favorite guest. It's between Mark Emery and Brad Rogers. JJ, which one's your favorite pick right now?
I like Brad.
Oh, you like one for Brad? Okay. All right. Well, it's good to have on. Get him on every couple of months, and he stays on top of the news. And by the way, just a little note here on this population of Ocala, Marion County, from ocala.com. Marion County's population, a small increase. They up 1%. To 335,125 in 2012. So it's there were more deaths, however, than births. A little frightening. We just read a stat earlier about the fact that in white America there have been more deaths than births. Yahoo! I just read a Yahoo article. 2043. White Caucasians will make up less than half. They're the same thing. Caucasian will make up less than half the population of the United States. Yeah, of course. And then we had 9,843 deaths and 7,551 births. So, as far as population grew 2.7% from, you realize we've got almost 20 million people in the state? Yeah. 19,317,000, whatever it is. It's actually 19.3 million. Marion County, 83% of the population is white. That would be because, as we said, the white population is sort of thinning out. Statewide, 78%. Median age of Marion County is, you want to take a guess? 53. Sean, what did you say? 47.5. So I'm the median age. Yeah, it's actually it's 48.1 last year, and it went from 47.5 to 48.1. A few stats for you there on a Thursday afternoon. We'll take a break, come back. Buddy Sports Page is next. All that information about golf right here on the Voice of Ocala. 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And so is State Farm agent Angie Lewis, working hard to serve her community as a citizen and insurance agent. Angie wants to help you as you adjust your insurance needs to your life. From everything to helping educate your teen driver to protecting your family against everyday risk. She wants to change the way you perceive insurance by developing relationships with her clients, which is why Angie and her staff are proud to be a part of so many good causes in Ocala. In turn, she has chosen to single out those who step up as leaders. Each month on the Voice of Ocala, Angie spotlights a good neighbor. So saluting those who give exceptional service or do random acts of kindness to others. For this, Angie was written up in State Farm's National Magazine. Angie also supports local businesses with a regular Biz Buzz. The Angie Lewis State Farm Agency is located at 1122 Northeast 36th Avenue, where visitors are always welcome and the coffee pot is always on. Call your good neighbor's State Farm agent today, Angie Lewis, at 294-2444.
Beef O'Brady's in Bellevue has something for everyone every day of the week. On Mondays, it's buy one, get one free chicken fajitas with a 2-drink purchase. Tuesday, kids eat free from 4 to 8 p.m. Wednesday night is karaoke night from 7 to 10 p.m. Thursday night is trivia night with me, the Trivianator, from 7 to 9 p.m. Weekday happy hour starts at 3 p.m. But the weekends are just as awesome with happy hour all day Friday through Sunday. Come and enjoy the outdoor patio and over 20 draft beers, a full liquor bar, homemade pizza, and watch your favorite sports on 25 flat screen TVs. Saturday night features live music from 8 to 11. Bikers are welcome anytime and get 15% off your food if you bring in your helmet. Need to throw a party? Beef O'Brady has you covered with 45-person party room for rent. Beef O'Brady's located at 4496 Southeast 100th Place in Bellevue.
Beef O'Brady's. Good food, good sports.
Hi, this is Tom Schmitz, the host of Buddy's Saturday Sports Page on WOCA. The Saturday Sports Page is your weekend destination for everything sports, from NASCAR to golf, baseball to boxing, and of course the best, most comprehensive football coverage on the radio. Also, you don't want to miss my weekly Are You Kidding Me rant? So join me and JJ LaSalva every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. for Buddy's Saturday Sports Page on WOCA, The Source.
WOCA, Ocala.
In Clark, we trust.
Hi, this is Clark Howard. Join me every weeknight at 6, right here on WOCA 1370, The Source.
Hi, folks. I'm Seth McBride with Pasture Sports. Here today to tell you about our annual early buy school uniform sale. Save up to 15% off. Calling all students and parents of Trinity Catholic, St. John's, you get 15% off. Ocala Christian Academy, you get 15% off. Blessed Trinity, you get 15% off. Meadowbrook, you get 15% off. Dr. N.H. Jones, First Assembly, Redeemer Christian School, Grace School, you all get 15% off. And now, welcoming our newest school, Evergreen Elementary, you get 15% off. Now is the time to buy your school uniforms from Pasture Sports. Buy now, save huge for next year. 15% off now through May 31st and 10% off June 1st to June 15th. So come on down to Pasture Sports for the only big school uniform sale of the year. Located on Highway 200 across from Honda of Ocala, Pasture Sports, your uniform experts.
How good does it get?
Golf has long been considered to be sport's most prestigious game, and WOCA has your connection to everything in the golf world. Every first and third Thursday at 10 a.m., tune in for Let's Talk Golf with your host, PGA professional and teacher to the stars, Jim Beckett, and operations manager for the links of Spruce Creek South, Darren Irwin, right here on The Source.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, a new spoiler, and a new trunk.
We can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
Hi, I'm Ernie Sprantz. Join me weekday mornings at 10:50 for Report to Consumers. Consumer news you can use from your hometown station, News Talk 1370, WOCA.
This is WOCA, News Talk 1370.
You're listening to WOCA, News Talk 1370, Ocala's source for what's happening in today's hottest, up-to-date news and topics.
ABC News Now. I'm Daniela Bellotta. The Black Forest wildfire in Colorado now forcing more than 1,000 people from their homes. Officials issuing a mandatory evacuation order. What's now the state's most destructive fire has already eaten 360 homes. A chemical plant explosion in Louisiana killing one employee. More than 70 others are hurt. Officials say the air around the plant is not toxic. 2 or 3 people still unaccounted for following a natural gas explosion in Westminster, Colorado, north of Denver, that leveled a home and damaged 7 or 8 others. Strong storms blowing through the mid-Atlantic states, and there are now a handful of tornado warnings for suburbs in D.C. and the Baltimore International Airport. Media mogul Rupert Murdoch is divorcing his third wife, Wendy Dang, after 14 years of marriage. Murdoch citing in the divorce papers that he filed today a breakdown in the relationship. Murdoch is said to have a net worth of around $11 billion. This is ABC News.
They say acre for acre, Marion may be the best test in golf. Winning here will demand precision like no other course. It'll test your skill at every turn, provoke you on every bend, and intimidate you on every approach. They say it's a short course, but in the end, someone will be standing tall. The U.S. Open. First round coverage today on ESPN.
At Advance Auto Parts, when you buy more, you save more. Right now, you can get a 5+ quarts jug, a Valvoline conventional oil, and DriveWorks filter for just $20.99. But as any video game football player knows, you always go for 2. So when you get 2 Valvoline oil change specials, they're just $17.99 each. You save $6 more instantly. Don't waste time mailing things in. Get it now at Advance Auto Parts. See store for details.
How much time? 30 seconds. I'm on right now. I don't believe you.
Okay. Enough kidding around.
Ho, 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 ho.
And now it's time for the Buddy Martin Sports Page.
He actually had me stay here last night in his gym.
It's like I don't fit in. It's like I don't belong here. Let's go talk to a couple of guys that never gamble.
Oh, see, I made Lewis a bet here. See, Lewis bet me that we couldn't both get rich and put you on the phone house at the same time. He didn't think we could do it.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slice.
And now, here's Buddy.
Hi, welcome to the Buddy Sports Page. We're live at the Country Club of Ocala, and the mobile will give you the headlines of the news. But right now, we have a drop-in guest, the cover boy himself. He's on all the magazines, Tom Schmitz. Pick up magazine, there he is. Marion County Golfer of the Year. Boy, he's absolutely maxing out that deal. He's taking every minute he can get that Marion County. No, just kidding. He's a pretty humble guy, but he is a heck of a player and a good friend of the shows. Always good to talk to Steve Albright. Hi, Steve.
Hey, buddy. How are you doing?
Very well, sir. I know you're about to go on the golf course.
I am.
Have you caught any of the Open at all today?
You know, I was listening to it on my way out here, and I saw that Phil shot 3 under after his red-eye flight. That's very impressive. Not surprising, but very impressive. And I saw Tiger started with double bogey, Tom said, as I walked in.
So you think Phil might have gained a few points for the mamas of the world by flying back for his daughter's 8th grade graduation?
He did with Stephanie Albright. We talked about it this morning, and I was kind of like the media kind of questioning him, and Stephanie put me right in my place. Said, well, I hope that's what you would have done.
For sure. Let me go, Phil. Thanks a lot.
That's right.
Well, it's going back on the track today.
Yep.
Your friend Jason Reagan, who will be here in a moment, has shaped this course pretty good. There's looking good, greening up, obviously with the rains and stuff. Find something wrong with it, because I don't want Jason to get too much praise, all right?
Well, Jason, he'll be the first to tell you. We're having a tough transition. Seems like every year at Country Club Ocala, we struggle through transition.
You mean from summer to winter?
From the winter grass to winter ryegrass to the summer Bermuda on the greens. And it's something we struggled with pretty much every year. Jason, though, has kind of gone in, and now that he's experienced, he has some really good ideas. He's pretty sure he knows why it's happening and how to fix it, and so we're implementing some things now. We're getting some different equipment. We've got exploring some tree removal ideas so that we don't have to do this anymore. We've got the right guy on the job. He's very, very on top of it. He's going to be the first to tell you the greens are not where he wants them to be, and they're not, but we're a matter of couple weeks away from them being good.
one of the things that impressed me, and he's going to be in the magazine you ran coming up, and I wrote that story coming up, is talking to him about his theory about how do you operate, how do you get the maximum efficiency. What really impressed me was the simple act of lowering the blades and turning up the RPM.
Yes.
They get through 2 hours faster,
right?
Which means the people mowing can now have 2 hours a day to work elsewhere on the golf course.
Absolutely.
Whether it's working on the green or whatever it may be. So that's what you call maximizing.
Well, it is, and it sounds very simple, and it is simple. But, once you get stuck in doing things a certain way for too long and you don't have that outside, new, fresh look at it, you can get stuck in ruts like that. And thank goodness he's here. That was one of the first things he identified. He told me he was driving his golf cart back to the shed, and he was, going 3 times the speed of the mower. The guy was coming back, and he stopped him and said, why are you going so slow? He said, as fast as I can go. And it was just a matter of readjusting the mower. So that's a great example of something that seems so simple, but it's been here for years. And, he's been able to change that.
I know he's eyeballing the irrigation system. He's making Pat Murray real nervous.
I know, he is. And to Pat Murray's credit and the ownership here, they are really embracing him. And to Jason's credit, our membership's increasing, so things are looking real positive. And it's just a matter of time before this course.
I know you play all over the county, although you're a member here, and you played in all the major tournaments, amateur tournaments, being Marion County Golf of the Year.
Right.
You played at Muni a good bit.
Yes.
And there was a period of time where Muni went from being went off the charts and how it looked. Everybody was raving about Muni. And the guy who was doing that was Jason Regan,
right?
Working for another outside company, but
right.
Doing the job of the superintendent. What was that golf course like at Muni when he was there?
Oh, it was spectacular. It was certainly there was a 1 year period there where it was definitely the best conditioned course in town. And he worked real hard. They came off a brand new renovation, and so he was able to kind of take that from day one of the renovation.
USGA specs, everything.
Yes, everything was well done, and they funded it, very well. But it's still a municipal budget, so it's limited. But it was great, and that's where he earned his reputation here in Marion County.
I tell you what, buddy. People don't realize you get a country club environment. Steve and his guys, the members play out here, and they get a fair amount of traffic with members and all. But a municipal course gets 55,000 rounds a year.
Right.
And he had it in as spectacular a shape as you could think a muni course could be in. Yeah. When you got 55,000 pair of feet and golf carts walking all over it. And it was literally, even 2 and 3 years after the renovation, it was still one of the best 3 or 4 kept golf courses in the area on a municipal budget.
For sure. Oh, yeah. Every year that he was there, it was top ranked. It was the best for a year or two.
Right.
For sure.
Steve, I know you got to run here and go as a golf. I'm watching Tiger. He's got that grimacing look on his face. He just pushed one to the right over here. He started out double. It's not, you can see the pressure on his face already, and Mickelson gets off the plane at 5:30, comes out there, goes around at 3 under. It's amazing how this game is. It eludes you, doesn't it? One day you got it, the next day you don't.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, has there ever been that one day when you did everything right? We putted, chipped, hit your drives, your irons, all at one time?
Oh, absolutely. You have those. Those are, they're far and few between. Yeah. But when they happen, it's just a great match.
It's so easy.
But then the very next day, like you say, you can turn around and you feel it's like you're playing with a frying pan in your hand.
Let me give you a stat about Tiger Woods. The last time he made bogey or worse on his opening hole of the U.S. Open?
Never.
2008 Torrey Pines. I think we know how that came out. Good. That was the walking on a broke leg, 18-hole win over Rocco Mediate.
Yeah,
the last major he won.
That's right.
Yeah, but anyway, he's already grimacing. He's not even through the first 9 holes.
Yeah.
But of course, Tiger's got the game. He can bring it back. So, real quick, I know your boys are playing golf and doing well, and we talked to them about who they liked in golf. Who do you really admire out there on the tour?
Well, I'll tell you, Ted Potter's one that I really admired. That his commitment and hanging in there and turning pro at a real early age, having some early success, but then he really, as we all know, he struggled on the web.com the year. He didn't make any cuts. He's hung in there, and he really is deserving of the success he's having now, and I really admire what he's been able to do.
So it could have been you.
No, I'm not anywhere near as good as Ted Potter.
Pennsylvania, man. North Carolina, coming out of there,
Nope.
You thought about it.
No. Oh, well, I thought about it, but I'm not anywhere as good as Ted Potter. He's special.
You just want to put the work in?
He's just a better player. And clearly very dedicated.
Steve, all right. It's always good to talk to you, my friend.
Great to see you guys. Thanks for having me on the show.
There, and,
thank you.
We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you. Love the show, and continue to read your magazine.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Steve Albright. All right, we'll take a break. Come back. Mr. Goff will update us on all the latest, see what Tiger's up to, and see Phil Mickelson in the house at 3 under, and we'll tell you all about that next. Even what Ted Potter's doing after the timeout on Buddy Sports Page, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live, WOCA.com. The Source.
Hi, this is Tom Schmitz, the host of Buddy's Saturday Sports Page on WOCA. The Saturday Sports Page is your weekend destination for everything sports, from NASCAR to golf, baseball to boxing, and of course the best, most comprehensive football coverage on the radio. Also, you don't want to miss my weekly Are You Kidding Me rant? So join me and JJ LaSalva every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. for Buddy's Saturday Sports Page on WOCA, The Source. Since 1976, Daniel L. Hightower, a lawyer, has been fighting for accident victim justice in North Central Florida and statewide. He believes everyone in America should follow the rules, including the insurance companies. He and his firm have experience fighting for victims of personal injury, wrongful death, workers' compensation, and Social Security disability, as well as serving those in need of help with bankruptcy, simple wills, and estate plans. The mission at the law offices of Daniel L. Hightower, PA, is to represent deserving clients and recover the maximum benefits they are entitled to by law in a timely manner. In personal injury and workers' compensation cases, there are no fees or costs unless a recovery is made. The law office of Daniel L. Hightower is located at 7 East Silver Springs Boulevard, Suite 300. For your free consultation, call 352-629-7777 or 1-888-LAW-1976 and visit danhightower.com for more information. Daniel L. Hightower, PA lawyer, fighting for accident victim justice, and the proud sponsor of Ask the Cops.
Hello, I'm Dawn Lovell, lead event designer and owner at Party Time Rentals. Have you ever wondered what it takes to make an event spectacular? Well, look no further. It's what we do every day. Whether you're hosting an intimate dinner for 10 or a gala for thousands, at Party Time Rentals, we find just the right style and elegance to make your event a success. Our extensive inventory of the finest in chandeliers, tents, crystal, china, and specialty items is featured in our fabulous showroom. Stop by and say hello. It's a great way to get ideas for an event and experience for yourself how you can make your party time special.
Party Time Rentals, located on Southwest 10th Street, just off Route 200 in Ocala, and off Southwest 34th Street in Gainesville. For more information, call 352-629-8858. That's 352-629-8858. The party begins at Party Time.
WOCA.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing. Our tractor services include bush hog, disking, front end loader, box blade, and stump grinding. We also have zero-turn mowers for the smaller paddocks, aisleways, fence rows, and lawn care. Fence row spraying is also available for weed control. We are licensed and insured. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440, or online at powellgene, Gene, at yahoo.com. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing.
Look who just walked in the room. Joel Wiesner from What's Up Ocala. Hey, Joel, I'm looking for something to do this weekend. You got any ideas?
Absolutely. Check out our event calendar online at www.whatsupocala.com, and there is plenty of events there for you. Daily news updates to event reviews and magazine articles.
Really?
We've organized it all in one place online for you to cut through all of the hassle of finding something to do this weekend. We have a daily event calendar, a bi-monthly magazine, and we also do daily news articles.
All right, Joel, that's perfect. Thanks so much.
Yeah. Whatsupocala.com.
Are you wasting hundreds or thousands of dollars on termite retreat fees? If you're not with Turner Pest Control, you probably are. Turner Pest Control offers the industry's only termite and pest control package that never charges retreat fees, ever. You can get started today for only $99. This is a value of $500 or more. This includes treatments, installation of monitoring stations, quarterly pest control, and a lifetime guarantee, all for an unbelievable low $99. Even if you have another pest control provider, visit turnerpest.com to find out how you can avoid paying those high termite retreat fees.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Life jackets save lives. Wear it, Florida.
Sun mixing with clouds today. There can be a thunderstorm around this afternoon, high 90 to 94. Partly cloudy tonight. There's a chance of a thunderstorm, low 72 to 76. Times of clouds and sun tomorrow, quite warm, high 90 to 94. For Saturday, intervals of clouds and sun along with a shower and thunderstorm or two, high 87 to 91. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
WOCA.
We're back on the Voice of Ocala Buddy Sports Page, live from the Country Club of Ocala. Let me give you a quick update on the U.S. Open, where we stand in the Open Championship, right? Our national championship. Bill Mickelson got to the Country Club at 5:37, got to Marion Country Club at 5:37 after getting off a plane that landed in the Philadelphia area around 1 in the morning. Goes out, really got helped by the weather delay, was able to take a nap, went out and fired a 67-3 under. He's in first place all alone right now. Up on the leaderboard right now, also, Luke Donald at 2 under. Nicholas Colsart at 1 under, finish for the day. Peter Hedblum at 2 under. Luke Donald and Hedblum both on the number 2. Tiger Woods opening double bogey on the first hole, playing the second hole as we speak. Ted Potter Jr., Ocala's own Ted Potter Jr., tough day today, buddy. Shot 6 over 76 at the Marion Golf Course. Not out of it when he's only 9 off the lead in the U.S. Open, so he's not out of it. Still a lot of golf to be played. A lot of golfers out there will not finish the first round today.
All the golfers delayed this morning.
Yeah, they delayed 3.5 hours this morning because of weather, but it looks like the weather's going to hold off this afternoon, and they expect it to be clear Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So right now, though, it's so soft out there that there's some good scores being shot.
One thing I did notice, and this was brought up by somebody during the broadcast of ESPN, is that you forget the severity, and I forgot, I've been to 2 opens there, of those greens. There's a lot of breaking putts. There are severe breaks, and they can put those pins in places where you can't get to it. And of course, the fairways are, the way those fairways get a little bit, a little harder, and the ball starts rolling, because there's some places you don't want to be on the fairway. So don't look for a whole lot of red numbers by the weekend. They may go in there 2 and 3 and 4 under par. I got a prediction that I think 2 or 3 will win the tournament, in my opinion.
Well, I've seen today already more people taking unplayable lies than I can remember in a long time at the U.S. Open. So even though it's soft and that the greens hold, you still got to put the ball in the right place off the tee, or you're not going to score good. It doesn't matter how soft the golf course is.
All right, time now to talk about the basketball game tonight. Game 4, Spurs favored by 1. Other headlines. JJ, what you got in the headlines, buddy?
Well, there is another championship going on. NHL last night. 3 overtimes.
How about that?
5th longest finals game of all time. The Blackhawks did finally beat the Bruins at home 4-3. Took a long, long time. Game 2 is on Saturday. Like you said, tonight, 9 o'clock, ABC, Heat at Spurs. Game 4, Spurs have a 2-1 lead. See how LeBron and the Heat come back. They're saying Mike Miller may start Game 4, which would be pretty interesting considering he's 10 of 11 shooting from 3 in the finals, so they could definitely use that. And Tony Parker is the other question mark ahead of Game 4. He says he is ready to go. And also in the NBA, Doc Rivers is apparently interested in the Clippers, and they're apparently interested in him. So that could be where Doc ends up. Make everybody happy.
Yeah, and some people are still kind of upset about what the Brooklyn Nets did, too.
9 days after he retires.
I don't have a problem with that.
9 days after Jason Kidd retires, now he's a coach with no experience. I don't know about that, buddy.
There are people there around him saying, how about guys like Brian Shaw, people who've been around the league, serving their
Patrick Ewing,
et cetera. So we'll see how good of a coach he's going to be. It's more of a player's game today, though, and I don't think it's a big. There may be some administrative things that he's going to have to learn. He's been around the game for a long time. He probably can relate to the players better than some can do it. But let's face it, it's not George Karl's world anymore. It's just how it is.
That's obvious. What just happened to him?
Yeah. So anyway, we'll talk more about that in just a minute. on the situation with Miller. I mean, here's Mike Miller, he wasn't even getting any minutes at all leading up to the playoffs. The guy who's been on fire at a time when the Heat are desperately in need of points. And oddly enough, Udonis Haslem gave them a bunch of points against Indiana. They needed desperately. And Udonis is not really a scorer. So it looks like Miller's going to play in the place of Wingate for another. Haslem will sit down. I don't anticipate LeBron being as flat as he was in Game 3. I just don't see how he possibly could be. One thing they're doing, they're basically clogging up the lanes on LeBron. And he can't drive, but somebody's going to have to take the ball to the hoop. It's either going to have to be Dwayne Wade or somebody, Chris Anderson, because they're not going to win the game if they continue to get dominated in the paint.
And LeBron having no free throws, that cannot ever happen again, man. That's an insane stat.
At some point, he's got to take it into there anyway, even if perhaps, he knows he's going to get fouled. You're right. He's got to get to the line. He can't go 2 for 14 and no trips. Now, as someone said, I think I heard David Robinson say this the other day on the interview. He said, I've been waiting for LeBron to finally have a bad game because he's been playing great basketball and he's been, the best player in the world for a long time. And it's bound to happen. Nobody is good all the time.
No.
It's just the way it is.
And that's sort of scary thinking about what he could do tonight, coming off such a horrible game.
But what do you guys see? JJ, you go first. What do you think is going to happen?
I think LeBron's going to have a lot better game. I don't know if they'll win. I think Miami, I changed my opinion from them winning 2 out of these 3 in San Antonio. Now I think maybe they'll be lucky if they get 1 win in San Antonio. But I feel like LeBron's going to have a huge game tonight. Win or lose, LeBron's going to put up, 30 points. Let's say that. And he hasn't scored even 20 in the first 3 games. Hasn't really taken that many shots. His outside shot's not dropping. We'll see. I think we're going to see him try to take it to the lane a lot more, see if it works. But he's going to need help with people making threes. That's their whole offense works around LeBron being able to dish to wide-open guys making threes. And if they're not making shots, he's not going to be able to score.
Well, because he's going to have to, like JJ said, they got to make threes, so that way it loosens up the defense in the lane. People have to go out and cover the three, and then it gives LeBron driving lanes. If they're not making threes, LeBron doesn't have driving lanes, it's going to be a long night for the Heat. I think the Heat win this game because they hadn't lost back-to-back games in the playoffs. It's not something they've done, but the stat that gets me, they're only 4-5, in their last 9 games. So if San Antonio goes up 3-1, stick Miami with a fork. They're done. Could be. It's certainly a dangerous position to be in, and they just don't lose back-to-back, as you said, although they are underdogs tonight to the Spurs. I think, this thing that drives me crazy is I hate seeing them dish the ball off to Bosh. I hate, when you got scores like LeBron, and he drives and dishes the ball off. That just drives me crazy when it happens. Now, how about the news today, guys? Do we read anything to it? Chris Bosh puts his house up for sale
I saw
in Miami.
that. Yeah, you got to read something into that. He knows that he's not going to be there after this year.
But why would you put it up for sale now? Even if you knew you weren't going to be there, and there is that outside possibility that maybe he just got, it's the timing in the marketplace was a factor, and he was talking to doing this. But even if that's the case, you don't do that in the middle of a finals of the NBA, even if it's just for money. And did Chris Bosh do it, or did his wife do it, or his business people do it for him? Because he's in I'd hate to think that Chris Bosh is on the phone in San Antonio more worried about his house on the market than he is about a basketball game. That, too, by the same token. Well, anyway, that's the NBA stuff, and we'll tonight, 9 o'clock, right, Chip?
Correct.
Yeah, 9 o'clock, ABC. Yeah, it's going to be, well, I've been enjoying that. I'll tell you, the nights is not on now. I kind of miss it. So, time to talk a little bit of golf here with the man who has got the green thumb. Pull down your headset there, Jason, and your microphone, and we'll introduce Jason Regan to you. Actually, is it Regan or Reagan? It's Regan, isn't it?
Regan.
Yeah, I know it's not Reagan. Reagan is the president. You are RE, not REA. So, anyway, from Northern Alabama, and a guy that wound up eventually at the University of Tennessee. Go Vols or what?
Yeah, I'm a Tennessee fan.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was an Alabama fan.
Yeah. What do you do when they play each other?
Well, I still root for Tennessee. My older brother and his wife both graduated from University of Alabama, so they've been able to give me a hard time for the last 6-7 years probably.
Pretty much everybody playing Alabama, you get a hard time. They haven't lost too many, for sure.
Exactly.
Because they beat Florida for the SEC championship in 2009. They've been on a roll. So, speaking of on a roll, your golf course is on a roll. I know that you're out there as superintendent, checking out your garden every day, see how your garden is growing.
Right.
And how is it growing, by the way?
The greens still have quite a ways to go. I mean, we got a lot of grass to grow in on the greens, so we're perfect time. This is the growing season, so we've got pretty much the rest of the summer to do it. But we've made a lot of good changes. I'm seeing progress, so I feel good about it. But we still got we got a long way to go with the greens.
We actually had time to sit down and talk with you a couple of weeks ago in a magazine article working. We had a string of cover boys going here. We had Albright this month and you next month. So, but had an interesting conversation with your children and your wife about all what's going on here. And I know they are, and you are so happy for you and your lifestyle. First of all, just to be a country club Ocala is good, but to be the way it happened for you was really special, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it could not have. I couldn't have asked for it to turn out better than it did. I mean, for us to think that we would have to move to Ocala, or to Boca Raton and take that job down there. We had made all these friends here in Ocala, a bunch of great people here, and for me to get this job here was perfect. And my family's happy, I'm happy, and hopefully I can keep the membership here happy so I can be here for a long time.
They seem to be very happy about it. Tom Schmitz, you know this, but you want to know the story about Jason Ringen. He was working for another company that was actually doing the maintenance for Muni. Yes. During the time Muni years blossomed. Right. Steve Albright said for 1 year it was the best course around here, and that was Jason's work and all the things he learned in northern Alabama, going to school, of course, as well, and putting those into play. But when the contract was up, Jason had to move on to something else, and there weren't other jobs around here, so he wound up going down to Boca Raton. Well, that was all well and good, except his family was still back here living in Belchase, and he was driving back and forth, and talking to Ms. Regan. She wasn't real happy about the thought of moving to Boca Raton.
No, not at all.
And what happened? Some people came forward, friends of yours that knew you and your family,
right,
and knew your work, and came forward. I think this is how it happened, and talked to the people at Country Club Ocala, and said, "You need to get this guy back here and talk to him." So you fill in the blanks for the rest of that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I want to mention names, but I had some people call me and contact me and say there's a possibility that this might be open, and would you be interested? And I said,
you can tell them it was me. It's okay.
Absolutely. I said absolutely. I would be interested for sure, and for my family, it was perfect.
Didn't have to move out of your house at all, did you?
No, fortunately, nobody ever gave us a decent offer, so we never even came close to selling the house. So we were, everything turned out good. Couldn't have happened any better.
Happily ever after. What do you want to do next with the golf course? I know I've talked about with Steve Albright that you got your RPMs up with your vehicles down, and you lower your mower blades, and you're doing you save some time, whatever.
Yeah.
Tell me about what you want to do next out here.
Well, I think the biggest challenge that we're going to have, obviously, is going to be some of the shade problems that we have around the greens. So I think that's something we're going to address. I don't think it's going to happen very quickly, but I think within the next 2 years we may be able to get all the trees cut down that we need to cut down.
All you can do is cut the trees.
Yeah,
I love trees, but grass won't grow in the shade.
Right. You go to any golf course in the area, and if they have good greens, the one factor that they're all going to have is you're not going to see a lot of big 150-foot tall oak trees around their greens, and that's the unique part of Country Club Ocala is that they have this tree-lined golf course, and it looks different than any course in the area, but that has sort of hindered them specifically with their greens. Now, we have some tees that don't get any sun at all, too, and they're pretty bad, too. So we need to look at some tees mainly championship tees. I want to improve those. Then address our shade issues. And if we can get our greens better, I think we can build a membership here because it's a great layout.
It is, and according to what Steve said, it is beginning to build again. So that's good news. Final thought. U.S. Open, you watch any of it today at all?
Yeah, a couple of hours.
You probably felt bad for the people handling the maintenance of the golf course.
I understand what they're going through. I'd like to have their staff, though.
You just saw what they got on 1 hole, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you got about 10 guys with a squeegee. They're working 1 hole. So, yeah, well, you've done a great job out here. The members are very happy, and we're glad you're here. Glad it worked out. Thanks for coming by on the radio program. My best to your family.
All right, thanks for having me.
All right, Jason Reagan. He's the superintendent here at Country Club. We'll take a break. Return, Tom, and take another look at the scores. Talk a little more sports with you on the other side right here on the Voice of Ocala Play Sports page.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin. I want to tell you about a conversation I had recently with General Manager Pat Murray on the great family atmosphere at Country Club of Ocala.
It's a family-first club. Again, we have any number of different types of memberships, but obviously the one that attracts the greatest level of interest is our family. And the reason for that is we have a little something for everybody. I mean, we obviously have a world-class golf course. We have 7 tennis courts here for all levels of tennis players. We have a junior Olympic-sized swimming pool. We have a fitness center that's second to none, and we have state-of-the-art equipment in our fitness center.
Country Club of Ocala, where the facilities are all a family would ever need. For more information, call today at 352-237-6644. That's 352-237-6644. Country Club of Ocala, proud sponsor of Monday's Gator Report and Gator Talk Thursday right here on The Source.
Hi, it's Lisa Midget with Kinetic Motion Fitness. I'm looking forward to a fun, healthy summer, and I have a few ideas that might just help you and your friends stay in shape and have fun too. Along with awesome personal training and group classes at our warm and inviting fitness studio, we also offer fitness classes at your home or business. And if you're tired of the same old, boring cake and punch party, why not let us host a hot new health trend, a fitness party at your home or office? If you're having a hard time getting to the gym this summer, because of your crazy schedule, then work out with your friends or coworkers in a private group fitness class or host a fitness party at your home or office. We will bring you and your friends or coworkers one of our great workouts like Zumba, Pilates, Body Bar, Yoga, Tai Chi, Boot Camp, or Zumba Tonics for kids. We can even help you reach your long-term goals by meeting at your place weekly for an on-location workout. Check out our website at kmfocala.com and like us on Facebook. Kinetic Motion Fitness is located just 5 minutes from downtown Ocala near the Skylark Plaza. Kinetic Motion Fitness. We're ready when you are.
On the next AM Ocala Live, Robin and I will be speaking to Dana Manciagli, a recipient of the Women of Influence Award. She's got a book. It's called Cut the Crap and Get a Job.
Open for debate, or you get to choose the topic.
And then Jim George will be on the air. He's the owner of American Cable Services. He'll be telling us what he does to make sure that our homes are very entertaining.
18-year-old Barbara Zelkowski from Ocala will be with us. She has been selected to represent the USA at the international competition this summer in the Czech Republic at the 2013 U.S. Junior World Orienteering Championships. Jen Sincero is a success coach. She's an adventurer and a writer for television. She's written a book called You Are a Badass, How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life.
And then Alan E. Kasdan is coming on. He's the director of the Yale Parenting Center. He's been on Good Morning America, The Today Show, Dr. Phil, and he's coming on AM Ocala Live to speak about his book, The Everyday Parenting Toolkit. All of that plus Fun with Joe on the next AM Ocala Live right here on The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM.
1370 AM.
I'm heading down to Daytona, where it all begins.
Hear that? You could be going down to Daytona for the hottest races this summer.
The track is really fast.
The Firecracker 250 on Friday, July 5th, and the Coke Zero 400 Saturday, July 6th.
Start the season even.
And all you have to do is register for your chance to win at the following location. Baseline Auto Sales, 2501 Southeast 58th Avenue on Baseline Road. Brick City Health and Fitness in the Pine Plaza on South Pine. And at the home games for the Ocala Stampede played at Trinity Catholic. Each sponsor will have 2 tickets for each race, and the drawings will be held Friday, June 28th. There's no obligation to enter, so you don't need to be present to win. And enter as often as you'd like. You're always a winner with WOCA The Source, and you could be...
It's cold in here. Ooh, it's hot in here.
It's just right in this house.
Looks like 1 out of 3 know about climate control mechanical services in Ocala. The first didn't call 291-0185. The second didn't know to call 291-0185. The third called 291-0185. So the moral of the story? To know is one thing, but to know and take action is another. Climate control mechanical services. Just right.
When it comes to medical issues, the big C, cancer, strikes fear in all of us. You know, Ocala is fortunate to have a leading state-of-the-art Florida Regional Cancer Center, and we're additionally fortunate to have their physicians on our airwaves to answer our questions. You know, knowledge is power, and it's yours just for the asking. Tune in next Thursday at 11 a.m. when Dr. Ravik Sandrapathy will be answering your questions. This is information you could use from your friends right here at WOCA The Source and the compassionate physicians at Florida Regional Medical Center.
Looking back at my past, I've got a bad name, but a man can change.
We're back on Buddy Sports Page. Not Saturday Sports Page. I'm trying to rush Buddy Saturday Sports Page. We're back on Buddy Sports Page live at the Country Club of Ocala. Beautiful day out here in Ocala. You can see the sun brightly shining on the fairways out here. We're stuck inside, so if you're going to be inside, let's go and see what Sean Down Goes Frazier has in his Nothing But Net segment. Sean, what do you got for us?
Just a couple things today. With the release of Willis McGahee, the Denver Broncos, I've always been a fan of Willis, and I did some digging and found out that he is among only 3 running backs currently active in the NFL that have 33 100-yard rushing games in their career. That shows how young running backs are in the NFL currently this time. Yeah. And the other thing I found was a funny little tweet from golf writer, let's see, what was his name? Elling? Steve Elling, yes, thank you. He tweeted today, Puxatawny Phil Mickelson comes out after rain delay, sees own shadow, promises 3 more days of birdies.
All right. So, well, there you go. Nothing but net from Sean Down Goes Frazier. Buddy.
Digging out some of those nuggets off the internet. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate that.
No problem.
The leaderboard, buddy, at the U.S. Open Championship. Right now, it's Phil Mickelson at 3 under.
So Tiger did not have a double bogey at 1.
No. ESPN had put down that he was putting for par when he was actually putting for birdie. So, but right now it's Phil Mickelson at 3 under, 66 today. Luke Donald 2 under through 4 holes in second place, along with Nicholas Colsar, Angel Cabrera, Goya and Hedblum, and Adam Scott plus Williams all at 1 under. Then you got Ted Potter Jr. I got Ted Potter Jr. He is trying to get to his scorecard right now. He shot 6 under today. 6 over today, 76. So he's still got a lot of ground to make up. The score today, though, that was most surprising on the 15th hole, buddy, Sergio Garcia on the par 4 15th takes an 8, a quadruple bogey. Sergio Garcia plus 3 for the championship.
He's got some bad Tiger karma going on for him.
He doubled 14 and quadrupled 15.
The minute we saw him walk out to shake hands with Tiger 10 yards away, and the nervousness in his body, you knew at that point in time Sergio Garcia was toast.
Sergio didn't have a bad round today. Sergio played actually well today. He's up there on the leaderboard.
Excuse me. He had a quad and a double.
Yeah, look at the rest of his leader, or look at what else he did.
I'm looking at his scorecard. I'll give you him.
He hit a 70.
No, he had a 73 today, plus 3.
73.
That's plus 3.
He is not going to be a factor in this tournament.
I'm just saying plus 3 is not super horrible for this.
No, it's not. It's not horrible
at all. But no.
He had 14 shots on 2 holes that he should have had 8 shots on. That's horrible by any standards.
Look, everybody knows this about Sergio. It's what they used to say about guys like Time Weisskopf. It's all in his head. He's got the talent physically. He's got the game and everything else, but in his head, he can't get it right. And that until he gets that right, he's never going to win a major championship.
But the scorecard shows you exactly what a U.S. Open is about, buddy. Ricky Fowler today goes out, opens his round, birdies 1 and 2, birdies 6, 8, and 10. But he double bogeys 5, bogeys 7, bogeys 12, and bogeys 17 for an even par round at the U.S. Open. That's the way the U.S. Open is played. You may make some birdies, but you're going to make some bogeys too. And it's trying to limit those bogeys from being double bogeys is how you win the U.S. Open.
It's about endurance, stamina, mental toughness, being able to have no conscience. Like you say, a cornerback, JJ, they said the best thing a cornerback can have is amnesia. And to get burned, I got to forget about it. Same thing is true as a U.S. Open golfer. You've got to be able to have amnesia. You make a double or a triple or a quad, it can't. I mean, most of the time in the U.S. Open, it's probably going to knock you out of the box. But if you sit back and grind one bite at a time, in 18 holes, 36 holes, you can get a lot of that back because it does wear and tear on you. There's no question about that.
No question. So, once again, Phil Mickelson, 3 under, leads the U.S. Open at Marion Country Club. Ted Potter Jr., Ocala's own Ted Potter Jr., is at +6. And at last check, Tiger Woods was 2 over. Is that still correct, JD? Is he still 2 over?
No, Tiger Woods is 1 over.
He's 1 over, so he birdied number 4 then.
He birdied 2, and then he was 1 over, and then he birdied, and then he bogeyed again. So he's
never mind that. How about my boy Hunter Mahan? How's he doing? He was par last time I looked. You guys all picked the big names. I took Hunter Mahan, Harris English, So
you did. Hunter Mahan right now is 72 +2 for the day.
All right. Well, he's not doing great, but
5 off the lead.
Yeah, not good enough. Yeah, you probably can't find Harris English, but he's so far down.
Harris English. Let me go look. I'll tell you exactly where he's at.
Who did you pick?
Lee Westwood.
He just made a putt just now, so
I don't have Harris English even on the scorecard, buddy.
Interesting. I saw it there yesterday.
I know you did. I'm going to look right now, try to pull him back.
All right.
Lee Westwood's actually 1 under, tied for 3rd, buddy. Boom.
Well, there you go. Your boy. Boom. There you go.
And I will pick him to win every single major from here on out.
I know. You're like Joe Williams. He picks one guy all the time. And by the way, if you're on a roll, you can pick Malice. You can pick Lee Westwood. So
exactly.
You never know. You had the winning ticket on the Belmont. Which, by the way, I didn't see you offering to share any of that.
Oh, my $30.
Taking the boys out for a little, evening or anything.
McDonald's.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, it's all about sharing,
I noticed there wasn't any sharing about Jason.
Brother gets the payday, he shares, right? Is that how it works?
I got y'all.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what? There's some donuts in the studio.
Oh, yeah. You're all hard, Jason. You're all hard. And we're not even there, so we can't even get those. So there you go.
I don't even see English is not listed as a player in the
tournament.
tournament.
I made a bad pick if he's not in the field. If he won the tournament last week, you wouldn't think he'd be in it.
Even if he wins the tournament, if he doesn't enter into the top 60,
well, then I'll pick the guy who wasn't in the field. So there you go. It happens. So, but nonetheless, I'll stick with my boy Hunter Mahan. I'm looking for a top 10 finish out of him and see what happens.
Well, I picked Matt Kuchar, of course.
Yeah, and that's who we both.
Matt Kuchar is 4 over right now.
Yeah, Matt Kuchar's not doing well today. He's 4 over.
And I like that pick too.
I thought it was a pretty good pick at the time. He's 4 over, shot a 74 today.
There you go. All right, guys, let's take a little break here. Come back and finish up the day. Get ready for some basketball tonight. A little baseball. Is there any fallout today from the baseball, JJ? I thought we were going to have
Still waiting on it. Still waiting on it. The longer it takes, the more fines you're probably going to see.
There's got to be some money paid out there. There's no question about that.
Buddy, when we come back from break, I have a basketball team for sale for about $100 million. I'm going to tell you who that is.
Okay.
Basketball team for $100 million.
Let's take a break. Come back. More to come on Buddy Sports Page.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Is your old car a strikeout? Strike one.
It's embarrassing to drive.
Strike two.
It costs too much to maintain.
Strike three.
You owe more than it's worth.
You're out of there.
Hey, this is Chris Spears from Prestige Auto Sales. I'm celebrating 2 of America's favorite pastimes, baseball and driving.
So this week you can hit a grand slam.
I'm giving you a ton of cash off a nicer, newer car you'll love to drive.
Are you riding the bench because of bad credit? Our For the People credit approval process goes to bat with the banks and lenders to help you get approved and back in the game.
Join the major leagues and start driving a car you love.
Come see us during our Drive It Out of the Park event and get a ton of cash off a new ride.
Hurry, this game isn't going into extra innings. The stadium goes black after we've helped 57 people score a new ride. My name is Chris Spears, and I'm a dealer for the people.
Visit Prestige in Ocala or Bellevue or call 694-1234. See you at Prestige.
Having the motivation and making the commitment to quit smoking is a great first step towards becoming smoke-free. However, anyone who's tried to quit smoking knows how challenging it can be. Having the determination to quit may not be enough. You may need some help. If you're ready to quit smoking and are between the ages of 18 and 75, currently smoke 10 or more cigarettes a day, and can commit to participating for 24 weeks, you may be interested in a research study which is being conducted to evaluate the use of investigational drugs to see if they can aid individuals in their quest to quit smoking. To help you quit, smoking cessation counseling and all study-related medical care will be provided at no extra cost. It may also be reimbursed for your travel time. To receive more information about this study, how you can participate, please call Rinstar Medical Research in Ocala at 352-629-5800. That's Rinstar Medical Research in Ocala, 352-629-5800.
Don't get caught in the dark. Call Tri-County Generators, LLC first at 1-800-622-1957, your authorized Generac dealer. Tri-County Generators are there when you need them with new generators for home standby, commercial, RV, and portable generators. They also service your existing systems. Now is the time to act. Be prepared before you have an emergency. Call Mike Gant today at 1-800-622-1957. That's 1-800-622-1957 for Tri-County Generators.
What you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
As far as fish go, tilapia has very low levels of heart-healthy omega-3 fatty acids, and this is important, it's high in unhealthy omega-6 fatty acids. Everything but your shorts should be washed after every workout, because body heat is going to reignite certain odors that get baked into our clothes after a gym visit. Women who wear a little makeup are perceived as more reliable, capable, and more likable.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Stay informed on everything going on in the villages with the Village Spectator newspaper. The Village Spectator is exclusively devoted to the villages with news, commentary, and more. And yes, they have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask is that you tell them where you heard about them. Call Tom's Picks at 804-1223 and pick up your copy of the Village Spectator today.
Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
Hi, this is Joe, and I'm your host for the new show, Damage Control, every Tuesday morning at 10:30 a.m., brought to you by Damage Control Services. We're going to be discussing floods, fires, storm and tree damage, sinkholes, mold, and many other disasters that you need to know about, how to prevent and prepare for them, as well as what to do when it happens and what to expect after it happens. This is Damage Control, Tuesdays at 10:30, right here on The Source.
Hi, welcome back for the final segment of the Voice of Ocala Buddy Sports page. On a Thursday, we're live at the Cut Club of Ocala, where we are every major championship, taking a close watch on the U.S. Open. I don't know what we got in way of leaders other than Phil Mickelson. Tom will run down before we go off the air one more time. Give you ladies Teddy Potter, our own, shot 76 today. Phil Mickelson in the lead with 300. We'll give you more details on that later. Meanwhile, let's close out the day with a couple of stories that kind of off the wall. Patrick Ewing, he thought about going to North Carolina instead of Georgetown. He's, of course, Jamaican born. And the story today comes out of the show, Dan Patrick Show, where Patrick Ewing said he went down to North Carolina for a visit. They put him up in a hotel. He thought, well, it's a very good school. He went down there and stayed at the Carolina Inn. There was a certain kind of meeting going on down there, a little rally by the KKK. And that kind of opened Patrick's eyes and says, I was close to attending UNC,
North Carolina was a very good school, but but I went down there. They put me in the Carolina Inn, and there was a big Ku Klux Klan rally at North Carolina. I was there. I said, you know what? I'm not coming down here. I'm staying my butt back in Boston. So that's how he did not become a Tar Heel.
Well, and I if that's true, I don't blame him.
There you go.
And could you imagine that Patrick Ewing, James Worthy, and Michael Jordan all on the same court at one time?
Would have been something, wouldn't it?
Wow.
For one basketball.
Speaking of basketball, speaking of more than one basketball, there's a basketball team up for sale for between $50 million and $100 million, buddy. It's a team owned by the Los Angeles-based private equity firm Shamrock Capital Advisors. They've been owned by them since 2005. This team was founded in 1926 as a family investment company of Roy Disney. And you guessed it before the break.
Oh, it was a Magic, huh?
The Harlem Globetrotters are for sale. They've played more than 25,000 games around the world. Former players include Wilt Chamberlain and Meadowlark Lemon. They even had a cartoon show in the 70s. And, the Globetrotters just recently were in the news because that's the tour Dennis Rodman was with in North Korea when Dennis Rodman became the ambassador to North Korea. So Harlem Globetrotters up for sale. So if you got between $50 and $100 million, buddy, you should go ahead and buy it.
Well, I think Sean asked the question, how much are the Washington Generals?
Yeah.
The Generals go with the package.
Yeah. But if you've ever seen the Globetrotters, and who hasn't, I guess they'll do those same stunts forevermore. And they're always good, especially one where Meadowlark or somebody in the old days would chase someone down in the curly and with a Meadowlark Lemon and Curly, and throw the bucket, and of course you think water's coming out, confetti, and it still works today. Most of it.
JJ, you've seen the Harlem Globetrotters, correct?
Yeah.
Sean, you've seen them live?
I haven't seen them live. I've watched them on TV.
You've never been to a live show at Harlem Globetrotters?
Wow.
Hey,
let me tell you this, Sean. Let me tell you this. Drastically overrated.
Not if you're 8.
Yeah.
I was like 10. I was like, man, I want to see NBA game.
Well, that's the problem with JJ. He thinks at 10 he deserves to see the NBA.
Exactly.
Yeah. He's always ahead of his time. But, there's certain traditions around college football you love. You think about the great traditions, things. They're sort of sacred, whether it's the spear, whether it's the gator head, whatever. Or it happens to be the rock, Howard's Rock at Clemson. However, something happened up at Clemson. What was it, JJ?
Yeah, when I went to visit Clemson, my parents are alumni, I thought to myself, man, this isn't really that safe. Talking about the rock, which is what they touch before they walk down the field every week, there was like, a crappy fence and a little plexiglass, and I'm thinking it could be pretty easy for a burglar to get in there, and they did. And so they stole about half of this rock. Good thing is, though, buddy, it's still just a rock. So it looks the same.
They broke it and stole half of it?
Yeah. They broke through the plexiglass and took half of Howard's Rock, pretty much.
And you didn't get it back?
Not yet.
You think they'll glue it back if they do?
I want to know what they're supposed to do with this. Do you sell this? Who's going to believe that it's really Howard's Rock?
Well, it might have been South Carolina, might have been up
there.
Maybe
Could have been some Gamecocks.
It's probably going to be fraternity brothers from South Carolina's campus.
Something like that. Yeah, well,
I would not be surprised if that's what it was.
Some kind of antics going on there.
I mean, this is better than Harvey Updike killing trees, I guess.
I don't know about that. No. That was for Tubers Corner. That was pretty bad. All the icons of college football. Well, it's going to wrap up the day for us here at the Country Club. Always good to be out here. We enjoyed it. If you haven't been out, you ought to come out and check it out. Like Pat Hardy says, give them a call if you have a special event of some kind. You don't have to be a member to have a special event here, as we know.